everyone, and welcome to our coverage of the top 16 of the Battle of Blackwater Bay. I'm Roy Rogers of the White Book, joined by my friend and yours, Aaron Glazer. We might be joined later by Dave and Vince. We are covering Joshua Chambers versus Michael. I completely forgot how you said his name.
Hagianis.
Hagianis.
It's my best guess. Let's not act like I'm some kind of expert. But
You're the
Hagianis.
English teacher, so I expect you to be an expert in English.
That word is not English, my friend.
So we are. I'm going to get the last little bit of stuff verbally ready, but we're watching. We haven't watched this Tyrell White Book deck yet, so I'm a little bit excited to give it its moment in the sun.
It had a poor setup, but then on turn one dropped a duped Randall and a Hedge Knight. Its setup was only that Great Hall and Arbor Market. It got a Great Hall with the
at the
gates, and then dropped these two characters.
Problem is, Randy is not very good in the Palace of Sorrow's turn.
No. This is not the turn you want Randall. However, the pump for him is present. And Randall is... Consolidation of Power. Randall will be sitting down.
We have somebody... Rabs is hosting us. Thank you, Rabs, for hosting us.
Hey, Randall. The cutest man in Thrones. No offense to Chambers, who are watching right now. Oh, wow. Randy is not getting up. He was knelt about the consolidation, and then he had a little hunting accident.
Oh, jeez. Poor Randy.
All right, double Roller Infiltrator and a Hedge Knight.
Yeah. All right, Chambers.
Go. And Chambers will draw a card. Chambers went 0-2 and has submarined his way on in here. Beric Dondarrion is here. I feel like I know who that is, and I cannot quite recall. It's been a long time. If you want to tell us, let us know. Military challenge for 3. Almost certainly defended and claiming. Oh, decides to just win. Interesting play from Josh.
All right. Doesn't want to fool around.
No games. No games here.
I mean, look, when you submarine, that's when you got to be playing the most serious, right? And
Chambers isn't like I played Chambers in both first and second edition, and playing against Chambers feels like playing against Dan Strohall. He sees the game in ways that are very uncommon, and he finds very creative and interesting plays. So if that's the play he made, then I'm just going to immediately assume there's a really good reason. And I have to press login. That's annoying. I am not allowed to view the White Book deck. It's not shared.
Oh.
So I don't know what's in that deck. I was going to check for attachment control.
Hopefully. I mean, I don't quite know what its plan is.
Oh, Force March here. Into White Swords. Immediately going to jump a Kingsguard in. Wrong Sir Eris, interestingly, given the plot, makes Crusader first player, which allows Selmy to stay standing, because if Chambers chose to go first, he could make White Swords go first to kneel that.
Big Barristan. I haven't seen him in a while.
He wasn't good even when the game was young, really. The agenda gave him life.
Wama's point here is Josh literally chose to play this deck because it's Battle of Blackwater Bay, so he wanted Blackwater Bay in it.
The name of the deck is, if I'm going to do poorly, I may as well pay homage to the event's name. That is the name of the actual deck.
Well, he made the top 16, so the meme lives.
Oh, Sweeney. Hey, Sweeney. I like Sweeney.
Is that who? Bad? Is that bad?
That's Beric, yeah.
Oh, Beric. Okay, cool.
Boop, boop. All right, here we go. Hey, all you Brits that are now listening, now that we're in the cut, make sure you say congrats to Mulcaron. Ooh, Red Wine and Pleasure Barge. Interesting. This is a lot of cards. Really, really, really strong recovery from a weak start from Crusader.
Yep, from Michael here, from our Tyrell player.
Hey, here's a Shadow Priestess as Beric sits down. That will be 3 cards for...
you mean not Barristan?
Barristan, sorry. Yeah, Beric. Oh,
he can stand as a save. Has he got a hunting accident too?
Oh,
Rip.
Got a hunting.
Jesus.
There's so many hunting accidents in Tyrell. I thought
Oh
Bree
man.
was the one that had hunting accidents.
I mean, Honey Asking is good about these like stand everybody up decks.
Yeah, yeah. Sir Osmond Kettleback can in challenges put a
Bring
knight
somebody
into
in.
play.
Ugh.
Blackwater made 3. The wrong Sir Eris is sitting on a
One.
fist of cards and plus 5 gold. Although that's still, I guess, Michael is only at +2, but he's also got the +4 from Great Halls as necessary.
All right. I forget just like how pushed that white swords plot is, but it just shows you how bad the Kingsguard cards are. That it
Yeah, they're
doesn't.
just like, let's go. You can get it from anywhere. Just play it. Forget gold.
All right, we see a military challenge here. We see a block with that R'hllor Informer. One of them is probably going to die here.
Yeah, one would assume. Although there is claim so for days, so I think I'm intrigued and powering if I am Josh. There are dupes on things that are not getting up, so.
Okay. Michael finishes his challenges, passes it to Chambers. All right. We get a one
Oh, he does
strength
in fact
military
do the
challenge.
military instead of the int
Yep.
power. I wonder what the impetus for this is.
I mean, maybe just pressure him.
Yeah, it's not pressure though. He's got 2 things lying on the ground that aren't going to get up. Oof.
Oh,
Jamie.
your favorite Jamie,
Yeah.
Kingsguard Jamie. Although isn't the Corsair? No, the Corsair one's just knight, right? Does it have the Kingsguard trait?
The cord one said one does not have Kingsguard. Knight and Lord. This one is not a Lord. It is Kingsguard instead because when you're Kingsguard, you have to give up being a
Although
Lord.
Jamie's never not been a Kingsguard in the timeline of the books, but whatever.
Yes. Yep. Power challenge instead.
Jamie's getting discarded, right? Isn't that what Sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, power, 1 for unopposed.
Interesting timing on using that Jamie.
Well, you can white swords him because they're not limit 1.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's true. Oh, there you go.
So you can do it next turn.
3 power to 1 for Josh, who seems
In
to be
relative
stable.
control of the game.
Yeah. There's a lot of game left to play, but the 2 cards a turn seems like a lot.
2 plus cards a turn, because I imagine we'll see the second Force March here.
Um, I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe it depends what's in hand, but like these aren't threats, right? Since Bamford doesn't love us, just so you know, I invited Wama to join us.
Yeah.
He's seeing if he's available, because Bamford is fake.
Alright, let me see.
Force March again, you were correct. And we have Force March into White Swords again.
Yeah. Hey, for once I actually knew the plots that
Ah,
were going to
because
probably
White Swords can just go get that
Jamie.
right back from discard.
But again, Chambers does not respect the White Swords.
No.
No respect
No.
for White Swords.
No, he does not. He does not care. He's like, you can have one standing, it's fine. I also wouldn't be shocked.
I mean, draw 4 is going to be pretty good here.
I don't know. It's hard to say. With 5 reserved.
Yeah. I mean, we lost Asai Priestess and Public Execution.
All 3 Great Halls. Holy crow.
I mean, we just
And
need
another Pleasure Barge.
Another Pleasure Barge.
Oh, that neutralizes that Red Wind Straits.
It It does, and those Great Halls definitely. All right, someone big,
Yeah.
sort of
Medium.
medium. Balon Swan. He's the one that I gotta actually read
Seems
him.
too
He's
bold when a non-Lannister
Life
knight comes to play.
enters play under your control. Okay. Well, do you have a non-Lannister knight for us here, my friend?
Ooh. Here's Old Town.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
A
the
crown
Crown
of
of Gold.
golden roses on
Randall?
Randall?
I wish we could see this deck. That seems to imply that there's
Well, it has to
some
go on
kind
a
of attack.
lord, right? So is that actually
Oh,
the
yeah.
only lord that he's
It
currently in
is,
play?
in fact, the only Lord currently in play.
So,
A big part of the reason Barris never saw play is because Noble Cause was so important early game, and he is not a Lord.
it's true.
Jesus. Josh has 9 gold, 10 gold functionally. Hey,
All
Melisandre, I
right.
thought.
Sit down, Jamie, I assume? Nope. Sit down,
Nope.
Balon. All right.
Power challenges.
I guess what he cares about, it seems.
Dragonstone Castle, 3 things will be sitting forever.
Mm-hmm. Probably that Balon.
And
And a power. uh,
no offense to everyone still alive, including good friend of the show, Derek Shoemaker. I think I'm rooting for this silly Blackwater Bay deck.
it's definitely good against these mid-range piles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the sad thing is, and Pyax in particular is just so good against stand decks. Excuse me.
He could play Derek in the final four, and then I would have a real tough choice. And Alejandro or Hano in the finals. Oof.
It's a stacked top 16.
It is. It is.
All right. Crusader is initiating a military challenge with Jamie, I assume.
The standing character seems like a likely target. It's interesting. I don't know why you care. No military. I guess just make a challenge. I'd rather defend.
But
Right?
Jamie does stand, right? Or the agenda lets you stand.
Yeah, once.
Nope, canceling it.
Yeah. Like, I guess you can't win intrigue.
Yep,
You
they're
can.
passing.
You can because you have the Arbor Marketplace. So you'll just win military and intrigue and lose power. You gain power for this or anything?
No, right? I don't even. Jamie,
No.
while you're
Gives
attacking alone, you
gets renowned.
gets renowned, but not defending.
Power challenge for 1. Cheeky.
That means also no military challenge.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't expecting it. Oh, takes the power off. Ren,
Randall?
Randy. I assume the next thing we're about to see is King Plot.
No, right? Because Great Hall and King Pot are restricted?
That's true. Yeah.
That'd be
Sorry.
illegal.
If you can't see the deck, you could just be running illegal stuff.
It's true. It's true.
Thanks to other friend of the show, Josh Staten, for sending me scotch.
Scotch is good.
Scotch is good.
It is only 4 o'clock here, so I'm not drinking.
I mean, I got nothing to do and nowhere to be. Crown of Golden Roses in play, if you're not playing King Plot right now, is sort of a waste, no? Like, what does it accomplish?
I mean, what, Crown of Golden Roses?
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Like, why play it on Randy if you don't have attachment control?
He might. I mean, I don't know. We could see a confiscation here.
Or the 5 power one.
Yeah, I also am not quite sure why he moved that power onto the house card.
He didn't. Josh moved it.
Oh, Josh
still.
did. Okay, yeah. Oh, it's true. You need a king for the agenda. That's right.
Oh, do you?
The
I did
agenda
not realize.
lets you,
After you win a challenge,
and then all of them, right? Each participating
Yeah.
king's card if you control a king or queen. So,
Okay. That makes much more sense. Okay.
And that gives you
Thank you,
redundancy, right?
Sweeney, for knowing how to read the cards.
And also
And
Wama.
no. Sweeney and Rabs, thank you very much. Wama still hasn't asked a simple question that I asked him to ask. So.
Answered, you mean?
No, no, asked. Yes, asked him.
All right. Crusader is already below the reserve value, so look at this embarrassment of riches that Chambers has, discarding a Dragonstone Faithful and Attorney Grounds.
Makes sense. He is swimming in economy.
Utterly.
No, figuratively.
All right, so you're in Michael's seat. You weathered a lot of Neil. And now
Eduardo Harris.
Valor do Harris is you. I mean,
You just keep the. Oh, you can't keep both standing. You keep.
yeah, can't you? Isn't it 6
I
and
guess
4?
you keep Balon and the Hedge Knight.
Don't you just? Oh, right, because it's 5 and 6. Okay.
Yes, 5 and 6.
Yeah, I guess you keep the 6 and the because he's also economy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not that you super need economy, but yeah.
I mean,
I assume Josh played that on the theory that attachment control is potentially coming, and it's better if these cards are just away.
yeah, that's fair. Let's see if Bamford. Nope.
Although that does hurt your own draw, like a lot.
It does, but I mean, maybe Chambers just thinks like he's got the tools that he needs right now. He's got Melisandre, so if he triggers it in the marshalling phase every round, he's drawing at least one additional card.
That's fair.
Boom.
Yep, as expected.
The danger of this is...
Are we in danger here?
I mean, you could top deck a Randall.
Sure.
Top deck a... Okay, something big's coming. Renly would be pretty good here.
Here's... Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, Renly.
One cost Renlies are good.
Does he
Other
have
cards.
anything else to do, though? That's
Card
kind of...
Shadow.
You really want... Like, one more Kingsguard? Are there any more Kingsguard? Oh, there's stuff in Shadows. Okay, so there's...
Light Cloak, so there's another Kingsguard.
Okay.
And likely some of the stuff in Shadows is Kingsguard, right?
Yep. Did we see if Josh was running a King Robert?
We did not.
So with that 7 gold too, you've got to be a little afraid of Robert Strong.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Let's
Okay.
take a look in the hand.
Yeah. Are we gonna see removed
One
here?
of those cards
Oh,
is
okay.
Crown.
Crown. Not a big deal. Well, oh hey, what? Renly kneeling. So surprising. Are we gonna get the third
Accident?
hunting accident on this?
No, but Dragonstone Castle will do the job for now, right?
It will. Tyrell does not have any good answers to that card.
And a Royal
Entourage. Oh, there's spice. That's when you lose an intrigue challenge, you have to kneel it, right?
Yeah, I have no idea why that's in this deck.
For the spice.
Any insight would be welcomed here.
Alright. Drew out a card.
Might have just seen Harris too early here. I'm not sure, but might have.
I mean, the question is how much can the cards and shadows flip things, right? So the shadows, Kingsguards are...
Robert and Sir Mandon.
And Sir Mandon.
And Knight of Flowers.
Oh, and Knight of Flowers, too. Yeah, and Knight of Flowers is pretty good, right? Because he can stand any Kingsguard when a card comes out of shadows. If I remember right.
Sounds right.
Because there's that weird Kingsguard Shadows theme that doesn't actually come together. Like literally every Kingsguard theme in 2nd edition. Alright, Saving the Kingdom makes the Hedge Knight sit down forever. Well, not forever, because it can be stood some other way. And this hits each participating Kingsguard.
It will stand, in fact, if this military challenge wins.
No, it's each participating Kingsguard.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, I just checked it. Like, I don't know what
Turns
that agenda
out,
does.
when I played, the white book was completely terrible, and no one played it, so I never had to learn it. Sorry.
Yeah,
It's played for insight because the insight of why this card is in the deck is because it's
it's
Josh.
Josh. Okay.
I thought it had insight for a moment, and I was like, oh, no, it doesn't. Uh, does not defend the challenge.
All right. So we'll probably
Be killing the Dragonstone Faithful, I would think.
trigger with the agenda.
Yep.
We're down. Yep. Say goodbye to a Dragonstone Faithful.
Mm-hmm. He was so faithful, and he got killed anyway.
That is Arcadia FPS. Well, it is. Alright. FPS 1. Well, this is your deck. Cool. It seems cool. I don't know if there's time for the cut. Wama might be able to answer that since he's one of the organizers if they are still in the chat. Or if Bamford is secretly watching.
What happened to Bamford? Bamford just like, hey, screw you guys, I'm done with this for the day.
Well, he's still got to run the rounds. So.
Wow.
Classic Glazer to a tournament organizer. Oh, it's the cut. It's over for you. You don't get nothing to do.
Yeah. Cut's
How many
easy
times
part.
you said that to me?
Cut's easy part. It runs
If only.
itself.
If only.
Saving the Kingdom returns to hand after the Dom win.
All right.
Interesting choice.
Marjorie Terrell. Okay. I assume that's large and in charge Marge.
And actually,
Could be
just
Pump
scroll over it.
Marge.
It is
No, it's
uh,
pull into
Queen,
challenges Marge.
which I think is the well.
They're both queens. The 6-drop
Is
and the
it?
4-drop are queens.
It's a good card for right now.
It would be quite good here.
I would expect to see them make everyone's restraint thing.
Yeah, because he got back his event, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, he's running double Force March. That would be illegal. Can't run 2 Palace Sasaros and 2 Force March.
Ah, that's true.
Duel.
Duel.
Oh.
Oh.
Bye. Wow. Yeesh.
Yeesh, indeed. That's a. Ooh.
Goodbye, I guess, Sir Balon?
Man, that is brutal. That is just like. Oof. All right. Well, we can let John know that his card was used to good effect here.
Yeah. Most of the
Chooses
time.
Balon's son, kills Renly.
Okay.
Right.
I mean,
Josh is powering through these like threats that
yeah.
Michael is just like dropping. I mean, the impressive thing about Michael's deck is he's dropped threat after threat after threat after threat, but
And every single time it just sits down.
Chambers has really been able to do it. Wama, is there time for the cut games? Or are we here until the sun goes down?
Sorry, I'm contractually obligated to say, hey, imagine if Duel was not limit 1 for plot deck and had 1 more gold. Okay, we can go. We can go on with our day now. That is a tourney round. Huh.
Thank you, James. 55 minutes for everything except the final, 90 minutes for the final. Very reasonable. I appreciate that. Timed finals are bae. All right. Rip Hedge Knight. Okay, so
Did he publicly executed the Hedge Knight? That's so silly.
It's not so, all right. So we see Marge come out.
It's fine. It's just not a super important character.
I mean, but Marge, it really pushes pressure on the board here, right?
Marge.
And if you have an answer to Marge, like you have Saving the Kingdom.
We know he has a Saving the Kingdom.
Yeah. So
that will be kneeling Marge, and then he draws 2 cards.
Oh, it was a mistake. He actually meant to, I think, kill Balon.
No.
It says he's bad at this interface, so I don't know what.
He was trying. He missed the whatchamacallit window.
No, there's no action window
Oh,
because Blackwater
yeah.
Bay is a reaction to the beginning of the phase, right?
Yeah.
So,
And then the Saving the Kingdom sits down Marjorie.
yep. So, again,
Well,
brutal power
power,
challenge.
an interesting number.
I mean, you can do these challenges in any order, though, right?
Yeah, but for 4 strength. There's a card that must.
He's trying
Yes,
to
there's
play around here.
all the different little ambush stuff. That's probably not this. Oh, the shadows.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a Shadows Kingsguard somewhere in those two, and there's
Hmm.
been a ton of gold on Crusader's side here that they have not used these last 2 turns.
Yeah.
So I don't quite know what they're like trying to
Mel.
do.
Waiting for Mel.
Well, yeah, but if you've got Knight of Well, I don't know. It's just such a tempo loss, though.
Yeah. It might not be Knight of Flowers. It might just be. It might be 2 copies of one of them. You know.
Oh, Red Priest was canceled by accident. Ah,
Uh,
that's what it was. Okay. Thank you, Beric Dondarrion. Or Sweeney.
Sweeney.
Okay. Alright, boom. Murdering the Red Priest. Yep. Cool, which... That was the Red Priest without anything under it, I think. So...
That would be wise.
Yeah.
No defense.
0.
There's now a real big Iron Throne on that side.
Oh, I mean, Crusader can do a military challenge back.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, doesn't do a huge amount. You're probably better off winning Dom, I believe. But no. Oh, he can
Guess
stand.
not.
He can stand, though. Right?
Yeah, that's
With
true.
the
It's in the board.
say goodbye to, I don't know, the Vanguard Lancer?
Vanguard Lancer, the silly
3
Royal
drop.
Entourage. Is he running more than one Royal Entourage? What? 3 Royal Entourage.
I mean, this is to claim, so.
Has canceled claim.
Nope. Probably misclicked. It
Mhm.
happens. I've done it plenty of times.
Bleh.
We seen anything go? Ruh-roh. Struggling with the platform. All right. Well, Chambers, and then figure those out. What does Michael need to do to? Yep, moved a Vanguard Lancer, and what was the other thing? Vanguard
Nothing
Lancer.
yet. Waiting for the extra kill.
Yep.
And Scott learns how computers work. Just drag him in the dead pile. Or /kill, but I'm trying not to talk over their name in their chat.
All right. So Royal, you called it exact. I called the Vanguard Lancer. You called the Royal Entourage, and we'll move on.
Saving the Kingdom will not be returning. Actually, will it? Yes, it will. Because 11 is more than 8.
Okay. stand, unable to.
He did not get the Saving the Kingdom back. Oops.
Yes, he did, didn't he? No, he didn't.
No.
No, yeah, he
I
did.
think yes, he did. Yeah, he did. Okay. Good, good.
All right, so you're going to. All right.
Last pull. Nope, not yet. Whew.
Okay, renown
Filthy.
and filthy. Good card. Classic. So Balon goes back down. Excuse me. And Josh has a billion cards, while poor Michael is living on the top of his deck.
No, when die, I'll do that, right?
Yep.
It's not called you win or you have a fistful of cards.
It's true. It's true. Although
But
I
you
played
win
against
and
Martell
you have,
players that they have a fistful of
then,
cards.
yeah, just literally, I don't even have to discard sometimes. I'm just like, oh, thanks.
Dragonstone Port.
The real problem with Dorn, sometimes you don't lose challenges.
Oh man, what a tough life those players must have. So tough for you when you can't trigger your overpushed card draw engine card. Okay.
It's rough. Old
Oh,
Town.
ooh, Knight of Flowers. Okay.
Looks like Balon's getting up. Oh, it's that Knight of Flowers.
It's that Knight of
That
Flowers. Huh.
seems like the wrong Knight of Flowers. All right, well, there's a Green Apple Knight.
All right, Green Apple Knight's good.
Yeah, that's big.
Okay. Gonna draw 2 cards here.
And see what it sees.
Yeah. So what the heck is the other card? Is it another Robert Strong?
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be Sir Moore still.
Could be Mind and More. You're right. You're right. All right. She comes out.
Shadow.
Tells, I assume. Nope.
Wow, Robert Strong is an interesting choice there.
I mean, maybe you're worried about the Dawn? Oh.
I don't know. One of the other two would have been my pick. Like,
I mean,
Chambers, I'm assuming, has a reason, but he clearly seems like less of a threat. Here we go. Turning around, something's happening.
probably Kingdoms. No, Kingdom doesn't do anything here. Not entirely sure.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Could be even Hand of Justice.
Could be. Even Hand of Justice
Running.
would be good here.
Running 3, yeah, it'd be great. Nope, just throwing a power challenge at him.
Which is fair, because the
Yeah,
only
he's
power
Knight of
icon
Flowers.
is Knight of Flowers.
Still hasn't chosen who to use. Ah, Strength 6. So, with what is showing, this could be tied, not one.
Seems good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as Sweeney says in chat, it could be this Knight of Flowers to be an additional target for the Crown of Golden Roses.
That's true. I mean,
Is that Knight of Flowers not a lord? I don't know. I'll look it up. No, that one is just a Kingsguard and a Knight. Oh, Lord. Alright. Claim is applied. Chambers is at 12.
I would assume an intrigue is about to happen.
Nope. Mill.
Love Storm Militaries.
It's the second
Yeah,
challenge.
just looking for power, right?
Yeah, that's the key thing. Make him make some tough choices. I guess you can take the dupe off Balon. Although he'll be standing up this turn, right?
No, because the castle will still sit him.
We'll still set him down.
13.
Okay, Chambers at 13.
Cannot win power. Can win intrigue if he thinks his hand is important.
Oh, kill Sir Robert Strong. What is that card in Shadow? Mandan, right? Mandan more.
Likely. Yeah, very likely.
Mandan is if they have fewer cards in hand than you, right?
No, if they have... No, it's just you can discard 2 cards or
kill.
Choose and kill a character. Yeah.
But Mandan's 3 to bring out, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's an intrigue.
Alright. You're willing to let him go to 14 here. That's
yeah.
Really scary. Yeah? Oof.
Well, let's see what that last card was. Made of the Reach.
Not doing jack here.
Chambers' next plot is apparently... Well, let's save it for now. Since we don't know both players.
Okay. Intrigue challenge. So I imagine we'll get a military and intrigue from...
You get all 3, yeah.
From the knight, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is a lot of power.
Oh, you know why?
Chambers could have just knelt that
nope.
Green Apple Knight, and he's choosing not to. It's very interesting.
No, he couldn't because it's immune to events.
Ah, okay.
Because
you're
of
right.
the plot.
Nice. You were correct.
The plot here definitely protects them.
Yep. Smart. Bye, Crescent.
That's true. I made the cut once because my Targaryen opponent did not realize that my knights were immune to events. In that brief window of time in the core set first cycle meta when crossing was legal but first snow was not.
Literally, I think 1 chapter pack.
It was 1 chapter pack, yeah.
That was the 6 event tournament.
It was.
Scott beat me with Tyrell Knights.
Scott and I were playing the same list.
I know.
It's one of the first times we worked with Scotty, actually, I think.
I played the same list as Issa, except mine had 6 puts of the sword.
You were playing Targ then, that day?
No.
Yeah, they were definitely playing Targ. Because I'm the one I beat them in Swiss and they beat me in the cut.
Okay. Saving the Kingdom Return.
They're playing Targ's Son, because that was when Nymeria was like the card. Okay, Dom goes to Chambers, who's back to 14.
Keeps that Knight of Flowers down. 10 power, however, for...
Yeah, I mean, another Knight plot might do it.
It'll be Parley. Carly is the
Parley, and you say, nope, it's Valor.
Oof. Oof.
Ugh. Ooh. Yeah. All
Um.
right, Balon's alive for now
Yeah. And standing.
and standing.
More Melisandre. A million cards, no dupes.
Yeah. I mean, so and what military challenge makes sense because you want to win the power challenge.
Mm-hmm.
You need an intrigue icon here.
Well, you need all three icons if you're
No, you just need
huh.
intrigue and mill or intrigue and power, right? Because
Hello.
mill's off. Nobody can initiate mill.
Ah, that's true. Oh, here's something big. Hey,
Hey, Barrick. All right, Barrick might be
Weenie,
too little, too late though.
Weenie, you're in the
Oh, here's
game.
another target for that
Crown.
crown. I mean, they have Chambers has a fistful of cards.
Oh,
Yup.
that game.
GG. Right?
Yes. And a mean hunting
And
accident.
yeah, adding insult to injury. Yep, Crusader. Wow. Okay. Well, I believe that's a concession.
Yeah.
Uh, wow. That was okay. That was a little bit of a sour note to end that game on. But congratulations, Chambers. And are there any more games running? Let's take a look.
Uh, if you would add Wama, please.
Do I have Wama on Skype?
Of course you do.
I don't know if I do.
Wama was really?
I haven't done that many like podcasts with. I have up James Holmesy. Yes, is on here.
Yeah. Chatted over a year ago when Wama was in Lance's chat.
Yeah. All right. My mom is
And
still in the Lances chat. Like I know no
that's
one.
true. He talks more than like 80% of it.
All right. Yep. There's I believe no other games available. So we are actually going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the top 8, and we'll get
Woo.
Wama sorted.
Shoemaker made.
Cool. we
Yes.
we are back with the top 8 of Battle of Blackwater Bay. I'm Roy Rogers of the White Book, joined by my friend and yours, Aaron Glazer, and also, yes, after some Skype mess, friend of the show, Wama. How are you doing tonight, Wama? Or for you, it's tonight.
Very
For
well,
us, it's
thank
today. So, how did your day go?
Oh, I had a lot of fun. I had 2 wins in good close games, 1 loss in a good close game, 2 smashings that weren't very fun, and then 1 burn a nation that was so absurd that it was actually kind of fun. I went into the challenges phase as first player with Victarion, Tyrion, Andric, and Gunther, and left my challenges with no characters left alive.
That is impressive. That
Yeah.
is impressive.
That's fantastic. I assume a Danny was involved?
Fabulous.
Yes. Danny, Incinerate, Consuming Flames, Dracarys, Dragon is no slave.
Oh, jeez.
But
The whole family.
Yeah, it was comical to the point where you can't be mad at it. But
All
anyway,
right.
should we focus on people that did better than 2-4?
Yes. Well, who do you think is favored going into this matchup? We haven't seen much of.
I don't know what this Lanny Reigns could possibly be doing. I'm going to pull both decks up.
Yeah, so the Lanny Reigns is being piloted by Nicholas Moldos. I've probably mispronounced your name, sir. I apologize. Who is a he's one of like the million really good players that Germany have, basically. He played Lanny Reigns for them in the World Cup, and I think he only lost 1 game the entire tournament across both Swiss and Cup.
So
Did they
that
win
shows
the tournament? Did they win the World Cup?
They
Yes, they
did.
did.
I am surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, those
very
Germans. The one thing in Thrones you think about why are they winning in second edition? They've definitely not shown any capability to be the
they've,
best meta in the world.
They've replaced Spain. Spain was the first edition best meta in the world.
Also, while I'm hyping up Nikki, he also was the designer of the deck that Sebastian won Starlake with last year.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
What was that agenda combination again?
That one was Stark Fealty.
So it was the Stark Fealty
Yeah.
list. Okay, cool. I
Yeah.
couldn't. Stark Fealty's won Stark twice, so it's not.
Yes, it has. And
Uh,
he also was on my Barra team for the sadly aborted UK war, where he came up with a really good Barra Knights of the Hollow Hill. So he's just a really good player in lots of different ways.
Well, he's such a good player. He just choked Derek's economy there by canceling that pass in the Black Gate. And but the Bran
Bran.
stopped the Hand's Judgment, which
She-Bear.
She-Bear, some more free economy. Yep, Septa.
All of
Is
a
that
sudden,
getting?
some
Nope, not
terrifying.
getting because there's no gold.
Septa is now duped as well.
Yeah, Alisane.
And wow.
Wow, heck of a turn.
Yeah, I mean, that passing the Black Gate was worth 3 gold for him.
Yeah. Well, Bran was worth 2 and the Passing Black Gate cost 1. So, it's fair, right?
Cost 0.
Heh.
Right?
Oh, Passing Black
Because-
Gate cost 0? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It costs a faction Neil, so it's kind of like
Like a half.
half a
A
card.
quarter? Wyla is so good with Skagos, it is absurd.
yeah. She's one of those interesting cards where her and Fight to the Last came out in the same pack, in a pack that was designed before Skagos was restricted, but then released once Skagos
Was
got restricted. And
Yeah.
as a result, neither card sort of got their due properly. And now that Skagos is back, it's like, oh yeah, Wyla's really, really good.
Wireless saw some play as kind of a 2-for-2 Bicon with like mild upside. But,
Yeah, she saw play for her icons and her traits. Now she's seeing play for her reaction.
yeah. And we
And
see.
her icons and traits.
Speaking
He
of
dropped 30
busted cards,
Red Keep
though,
and Casterly Rock in one turn. Holy crap.
wow, this Lanny Reigns.
That was an explosion of cards
Man,
on a late.
God, I have 2015 feels of this like playing that late summer feast and flipping out of it.
There is nothing newer than 2015 in this deck that I can see. Chiswick, I guess.
Oh, Red
Red
Keep.
Keep.
Red Keep is
Red
Red Keep.
Yeah.
The most 2020 of
Red
cards,
Keep
even though it was
would
printed in
be,
2019.
They're restricted, right?
Yes.
I mean, you cannot play red cards and not play Red Keep if you're not playing Shadows.
Sure you can.
You really are going to play a mid-range Lannister deck and not run Red Keep.
Flea Bottom is so good with Goldmine that it actually competes, but
It
it's
does?
it's
Okay.
a.
I mean, I
I
trust
mean,
Diawama, but it just
I
seems.
mean, I say that as someone who played a Lanny deck with Flea Bottom and went 2-4, spectating a top 8 game with someone playing a Lanny deck with Red Keep.
It's particularly good in this matchup because Derek has a lot of triggers that you very much want to get with the red key.
Canceling Skagos is huge.
Well, yeah, Skagos is now functionally a blank, right?
Skagos
unless
and
you-
Bran, and not
unless you
Bran,
can find out something
Summer.
else.
It's
Yeah.
also super because he also has time for wolves, being able to snipe the Summer when it comes in.
Yeah, but
That's
then
good.
Skagos is up at that
Yeah.
point. Now you can Skagos and you get the exact same basic response, right?
Well,
you just don't get two.
But they
you get the
waste a Summer trigger there. Like that's still one less
Yeah.
Summer trigger for the game.
one. Alchemist Guildhall is a really good hit for that intrigue challenge.
Yeah.
Interesting that Nicholas let the intrigue through there, because obviously we know Derek's going to try and go quite quick.
Mm-hmm.
And Nicholas's reigns, he could have, potentially gone into Game of Thrones or something. He may want to save that for a later term where it's more impactful. I'm not sure.
Is there a Game of Thrones here? It's a worthwhile question. There is no Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would explain it.
Filthy, Power, Red Wedding, Spider's Web, and Wildfire. Wildfire would be huge.
Wildfire will be extremely useful because Derek is definitely his deck's built to spam.
Yep.
And with his economy base being so poor, that also, right now,
Or-
obviously.
Yeah, that Wildfire looks like it's going to be quite potent here, because obviously Superior Claim goes out of Derek's hand. But that will essentially leave Derek with no cards in his hand after that, because
Yeah,
the double intrigue and then Gunther trigger.
And Gunther, yeah, the hand is empty. But although at this point, just the double intrigue will do.
Late Summer Feast means that Derek would draw.
Yeah,
At
go
least
up to 3 cards for the first one.
If he lets the first one through by 5, he can stop any by 5 triggers.
That's true, he can.
That's true.
Well, he can stop
1, right?
1.
He can stop one of them, yes.
Yeah, the
So that
second
means
is
he
going to
gets
be
2
rough.
cards. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Nicholas comes in with an intrigue challenge into the red zone. Who's coming? So strength 9, which, yeah, I mean he can stuff the win by 5 trigger.
Here we go. Decides to.
Defends with 6. Yep.
This will empty the hand. No, again, will not empty the hand. I should probably learn that immediately. But he does get now an extra card from the...
Takes him down to
not
1
really-
card, right?
This will take him to 1 card, but he's going to get an extra card on the next intrigue, so he's going to finish with 1 card, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, loses an economy card. And a Summer. Rough.
That is good.
I assume that Derek just drew that Grove off of the Late Summer Feast, because otherwise, presumably, he would have played it.
Play. Mm-hmm.
9.
This one will likely be blocked.
So do you wildfire here?
I think you
would.
have to, right?
Yeah. It's just too good with the emptied hand.
I mean, he definitely wants to reigns out of Late Summer Feast into
Right.
something, so why not trade a Nelt Merchant for 4 characters?
Yep.
3 characters, I can count.
Cool. It's not for Noah. My wife came home with a big Ray toy that I assumed was for my child, but is in fact just hers.
All right. So save Sansa, Septa, and Alyssane.
Makes sense. He doesn't care too much about the Manderley Knight or the She-Bear, and he can get Willa back with Summer.
You can get, I think, all those cards, right? Except
I
for
personally, but ignore that.
She-Bear can all come back with Summer.
Sure, but he's probably only going to get the 1 trigger because of Red Keep, so...
That's fair.
She-Bear can't. Yeah. Oof.
All right. Power challenge for 3. Blocked. So pretty good turn for both of them, but I think that wildfire really did even things up here in a way that's very unflattering for Derek. Or unfavorable would probably be better. It's true, Wama. Stark does always have Catelyn to trigger what they want in challenges. Or Winterfell, because Derek is running the winter package, so. Alright, so we're into round 2. Plot phase. Both players are a little bit in the tank about what they want to flip here.
Oh. Very few cards in hand, same number of characters, same power.
But I'd say that the Lannister player has much better characters right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Red Keep alone, is a huge deal.
Yeah, the red. Assuming the Red Keep makes Skagos blank, just having economy is better. Oh, here's the summer deciding to go for that. Yeah.
Yep, Derek goes first.
What is the reset in both of these decks?
We've got
Morgulis and the big one from Nikki. First Snow is real bad for Derek's deck, and Derek has Dohaeris.
Derek does at least have a couple of dupes down, so First Snow won't be as bad.
That's true.
But...
All right, I assume we're going to see the Red Keep here. As in response to this summer trigger.
I think I would give him the first one. Because the second one stops the repeat, right?
Yeah, that's what he's letting him do.
Yeah.
Now
if you cancel that, then Derek has the choice of Skagosing Summer to do it again, or saving the Skagos trigger for something else.
Mm-hmm. Mira seems like she would be
Mira is good.
Mira and Skagos would be an interesting interaction right now with Red Keep. Of course, one we have no idea if it's even possible, but...
Alright, so Derek saw some economy. And this one pays for itself, which is nice.
And he would really love to enter his hand. Empty his hand, excuse me. Oh, here's another passing a black gate.
Alright, well that does help with emptying your hand.
Yeah, Cersei's a lot less of a threat with no hand. Here's Wyla. I would assume we're playing something else. Nope. Just getting it out of hand. Which
I mean, Derek, it may be some kind of interactive event.
That looks like it might be an event, yeah.
Yeah.
What events is he running?
Definitely
he is running 3
superior.
passing and 3 superior.
Okay, well, that probably answers that then. And Gregor.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't think we're going to be seeing Dohaeris for a little bit from the Lannister player.
Derek has Dohaeris, though.
Oh, Derek has Dohaeris. Derek running a reset?
What? Yeah.
What?
What? Sorry.
That's okay.
I don't know. I don't get it.
I'm so used to Derek not running a reset unless he's running a control deck.
Here's the military immediately saying Neil Chiswick. Unless he'd like to protect his hand.
Okay.
Winning military.
Stealth, Greggy. Okay, no defense.
Slightly surprised Nicholas didn't use the merchant in marshalling, given that that was obviously going to be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Intrigue coming, likely just Septa.
Mm-hmm. You letting this one through too?
That's... okay.
Yeah, unopposed.
I guess he thinks he can close faster. Or really... I mean, I would assume he's not stuffing the power. Wow, Chiswick. Losing draw is rough.
Yeah.
So
Well, the problem also here, I guess you get to do one.
I think we're about to see Dohaeris into First Snow.
Yeah, that would be my expectation too.
Alright, power challenge.
You're supposed to be correcting me. You're here specifically because I don't remember cards anymore.
I apologize. If it is the Harris into first snow, incidentally, it's going to make the power totals really important here because obviously they have the same initiative, and I think both players would very much like to go first next turn in that scenario. So especially if Nicky's expecting the Harris, he might not want to take the renown on Gregor because I
True.
assume he keeps Cersei over Gregor here.
Yeah.
All right,
I mean,
block. That
yeah, I guess the
block.
Castaway Rock. There's just not going to be a lot of cards in hand. That is the block and the second superior claim. I guess
Ugh.
you can use Gregor to your heart's content. Wow.
Wow, indeed. And the renown on Sansa. Ooh. Yeah.
Is that 15? No, right?
No, it's
Okay, that was
12.
12 at
12.
the end of it. 12 at the end of it, okay. Sorry, I looked
Yep.
down and saw the smile and thought it might be that evil smile. Let's see if there's a superior claim coming back the other way. That would be difficult. There's no superior claim in that deck. Just treachery and hand judgment. It's a denial deck.
Oh, yeah.
Every like Gregor's scary, right? Everything in your deck is 2 or 3 cost.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, killing
pretty much.
Atlas Sane or getting some of the dupes off Sansa.
Yeah, clearing the dupe off Sansa would probably be the top play that you could make. I say play, like you get to choose.
Yeah, if you're first snow, you just get the dupe off Sansa.
All right. Spin that wheel.
About the only way he's not killing something is if he takes a location, I guess. Now at
Or
this
an
point,
event, right?
there's only 2 events left, right?
Yep.
There's
one.
yeah. No, one passing, one superior, right?
It looks like there's 3 passing in discard. I have no idea when the third one got in there.
Me neither. It must have been.
Must have been claim.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that was canceled. It looks like this one was discarded to claim, and then the last one was played last turn. Hey, Ruby, you don't get fed for a little bit. All right. This is a lot of thinking for this military challenge.
Which can do nothing, really, right? Like, there's
right.
nothing you can do except take it.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, incidentally, the other top 8 game with a German in is finished because we've got a couple of Germans joining the spectators.
Fair enough. I will go check. I have the bracket open.
It looks like Dennis won.
Yeah. Dennis, no, Alejandro.
Alejandro.
Yeah.
Well, good run, Alejandro. Congratulations.
Woke up
Especially-
at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Turns out Alejandro's good. I know everyone is very surprised.
Easily the best player in North America.
Oh, easily is a little much. Someone in this game might take
Derek's up
a
there.
little issue with that. Oh wow, got Winterfell.
Got Winterfell. Yeah, it's not what you wanted here.
And Nicky did take the renown power on Gregor, so either he thinks he can reach 15, he doesn't think he can overtake Derek's power count, or he's just got the keywords not set to optional.
Could be
Yeah, I
all
don't
of those things.
Unless there is no oh, here's a range trigger.
Can this range trigger do anything for Nicky here?
What would it be? Red Wedding would do something.
Red Wedding would be good with another intrigue challenge and a power challenge still to go, and no cards in hand to take for the intrigue claim.
Yeah.
That's fair. And that's a good way to shoot off one dupe and kill Alicent?
Mm-hmm. That would be game, I think. Or functionally game.
I mean, the Dohaeris is going to hurt.
No, is it? If your opponent has no cards.
Yeah.
If you're keeping, it would be Cersei and Gunther because you can ambush Gunther back in against Septim Ordain and a top deck at that point.
Mm-hmm. Seems solid.
All right.
As Derek sits here and wish he believed in Valar Morghulis.
All right, now we're going to see if we're going to get this range trigger. master player live up to their agenda's name? Yep. And we get a range trigger. We called it. Yep. Good job. Red Wedding comes in here.
There is something beautifully thematic about the Lannister Reigns of Castamere deck revealing the Red Wedding to kill Starks.
Yeah.
It is a theme win. Man, this is feeling like I am getting. This is more. I guess Red Wedding is more 2016. It's sort of the end of the Lanny Reigns reign of terror in the game, right?
2017 is when we got the Joe Miranda write-up for Reigns with the best kill spell in the game.
That was 2017.
That was April 2017.
Was it?
You remember the stuff that's important to you in life, right? It was 2017.
Yeah, I guess it would have been because I think he did that when he won Dance with Dragons.
Yeah.
Wow, it's almost like we predicted exactly this. Although 13 power for Derek. If he doesn't realize First Snow could be coming. Oh, 12. 12 power, because Sansa will be gone. But if he doesn't realize First Snow can be going, knowing Derek, it would not be completely out of the ordinary for him to go into a winter festival.
Yeah, and that is dangerous spot for Nicholas. Yeah, just kill
Kill
Sansa.
Yeah, just don't deal with it.
That's fair.
So now I have to assume the Harris, yeah.
Yeah, no renown on the board.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's even more just like this way you're just not really screwed by a top deck third Sansa as well.
Well, you're still screwed by top deck's third Sansa because that sits in hand, and then Cersei discards it.
No, I'm talking about like if you didn't kill Sansa here, and we get First Snow into, and they top deck Sansa, you're screwed.
Yeah. How many Alisane is Derek on?
2.
It's pretty standard.
So he does still have some potential plays. I assume he's on Bear Island Scouts as well. So
He is.
yeah, because why wouldn't you be?
They are extremely strong.
Ask DK.
Well, yeah, sure, but that's DK's not playing a swarm deck like Derek is. He's playing a murder kill deck.
Oh. I hate Wildfire.
I was told by someone it was the best reset this game ever had.
Was that Joe Miranda again?
It was.
It's funny that for some reason when you said it, the first name that popped into my mind was Will Lentz.
I think Will may have also said that, but it definitely the memory time, memorable time is talking with Miranda about it.
They agreed on something once. Hey, look, the plots we predicted.
Oh, wow. All right. Dohaeris into First Snow.
I might not be great at the modern game, but let me tell you, when they play these 2016-17 decks, I know shit. Hey, Cersei and Gunther. Who knew?
Seems smart.
I cannot.
Oh, I was going to suggest Derek might actually have only wanted to keep Scepter on the Dohaeris so he didn't get characters back to hand.
Yeah,
for,
I think
Cersei triggers.
I think there's 2 of each of these. Is that worth it? Like, then you have no cards going forward except for a wind die?
42 cards left in draw deck. I
Yeah,
don't like the chances. Although, to be fair, Bear Island Scout means effectively 4 of the cards he could have drawn were Alisane. So.
Right.
All right.
You lose has finished marshaling.
They need that gold to ambush in Gunther.
I'm gonna guess Derek has finished marshaling.
Tankin first. Nope. Northern Keep. Oh, Neil's it.
That already happened. Yeah. Gets pulled.
Hey, this is where your opponent's plot helps you.
Where?
Because right, isn't
'Cause
it
it's
more
winter.
more winter than summer
oh.
plots?
Yeah, fair. I really thought Northern Keep was never going to see play. I'm very happy it is, but I really thought it was never going to see
All
play.
right. Well,
What happened?
Mira's not bad, but I mean, obviously her trigger's not
Mirror
going.
was okay. I might try Discago's. I guess use Skago's Septa later, right? To get Mira back in shadows to trigger
It's
her.
not Mira. It's Small Folk Mob.
Is it? How do you know that?
Ah.
Because
Wow.
it says.
Well, because we're going for the see if the Red Keep is going to let us cancel it.
I assume that he doesn't cancel it because then Alicane can be sacrificed for Small Folk Mob instead.
Right, and you want the 2 cards in hand.
Yeah.
That is pretty nice, though. Good
It was a good top deck. Yep.
And, then you're allowing Skagos to start happening, which...
You don't want.
What's that last card? Anything? Probably nothing.
Yeah.
The only card it could be that would matter is Catelyn. Danella.
He's playing Danella?
A singleton.
Okay, he must really,
Or
really...
Mira, I guess.
To cancel Skagos.
Interesting. I don't know why.
What?
Why you'd cancel sacrificing Alicane there. What?
Do?
Because it would have gone back to hand and been an extra card to discard, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Here's Gunther.
Any thoughts, chat, on what the reason for that play would be?
So what's Derek's for Skagos in it?
I mean, what is
maybe
he
to
even...
bait out the Red Keep trigger?
Yeah.
Or maybe Derek was planning on failing to find.
That could be quite possible, yeah.
Yeah. This could be Power Behind the Throne, Spider's Web, or Filthy.
I think...
I'd assume Filthy on the Small Folk Mob.
Yeah, that's the only thing that makes any sense.
I'm not sure I'd have included Gunther with this. I'd have just gone Intrigue with Cersei, and then if it's opposed, Intrigue with Cersei again.
Yeah. Seems a bit extra to throw Gunther in this. Unless there's an interaction. Does he have a card in Shadows?
Nobody, no cards in Shadows. 2 gold. So maybe there's a... Are we really that old and there's Burn Men in this Lanny Reigns deck?
There are 2 Burn Men.
So...
That's possible then.
Yeah.
Filthy. Sit down. Here's Burn Men. Kill Septa.
Wow, it really is a classic. And Gunther is the newest card?
No, Chisholm,
Oh,
right?
and Red Keep.
And Red Keep, yeah.
Looks like the Germans are feeling like this game's locked up. No defense from Derek. The second intrigue. We got unopposed. Go to 11. Do you just power? You power here, right? With Cersei?
Yeah.
Nah, I would.
Yeah. And
If you're Derek, next turn you're wind dying.
praying to your god. So you think it's... I mean, I do think it is a pretty big mistake to not have that Septa gone, right?
What do you mean?
Because now they'll have 2 characters going into next... Derek will have 2 characters going into next turn rather than 1, right?
Yep. Didn't accomplish very much. Given, you should remember your Castle Rock, right? Like, it's not like it's invisible.
And it's not like your entire deck is built around the card.
Gold cloaks.
Okay.
That
is
an
an
old
card.
Yeah, of course that. I hated that card. Of course that.
When a phase ends in which gold cards enter play using ambush, discarded from play cannot be saved.
Oh, you forgot what it did? How do you forget Gold Cloak?
Because I haven't seen this card in like a billion years.
Oh.
Like,
The classic.
also, I try to
Classic
delete
bad
as much
card.
Lannister. Unlike you, Glazer, I have a lot of Lannister-based Thrones trauma. So,
I played long enough to duel with Lannister and then basically stopped.
I
So
know. The military is, yep.
that's interesting.
I guess Derek values the unopposed power more because if he gets
Yeah.
intrigue unopposed with Scepter,
Yeah.
then
Wait.
he'll win dominance as well. That leaves him on 13.
Yeah,
Oh,
13.
Okay.
but,
Oh, but now you intrigue and just win Dom. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's totally fine. If a good win die turn means this is relatively close. Not like close, but relatively close.
Derek's not
What are
out of
the
it.
initiatives of Nicky's plots? Because he's currently just behind on power. If he's got like a march to the wall or something
He does, in
to go
fact, have
first,
March to the Wall.
he's probably intending to flip that, and so he's
The other
deliberately
option
trying to
would be
sandbag his power to be just behind Derek. Is my guess here.
one of double heads.
Yeah,
Won't they be
double heads
tied
doesn't look
though?
so good right now.
No,
I
no,
mean,
it
that's
does
if
not.
he doesn't defend the. If he doesn't defend the
The intrigue.
intrigue challenge, he'll be behind.
No, if he does defend intrigue, it's the same thing.
Derek's winning dominance either way.
Yeah,
Is he? If
Yeah.
because Derek is 5 to
gold.
6 if he doesn't
8 to 6. He didn't do the
oh, he
intrigue.
didn't do the intrigue. Okay.
So, like, if you do the intrigue, you get the power. You get the power. If you don't do it, yeah, it's the exact same thing.
13 to 11, very close game.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually as close as it looks.
Do you think the Lannisters got it?
Yeah, I think so.
Wind
Oh,
die into
interesting.
heads on
Head?
spikes.
So Derek
would
goes
you-
first and makes heads first, right?
Yeah, I don't know why on earth you'd flip spikes.
I don't
then.
either. That's like you had to know he was going to win die. What did you think was coming?
Yeah.
Well, that it puts a different complexion on it.
Yeah. Yeah, doesn't it?
All right.
And now you have to play defensively if you can get 3 things out. If you can get 3 things out, you might have just lost.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we don't know exactly what he's got in his hand. I don't know the list to know what possible cards he'd have that would justify that.
I mean, it could be a Tywin, right? Tywin, the Hound, Tyrion, although if you have the Hound.
I mean, I don't think any of those things mean you should go second.
No, me neither. Tywin, maybe. A nice, big old Tywin. Ooh. What did we just cancel?
The econ.
Okay, that's reasonable. It's
Question.
1 gold.
All right. Well,
Oh,
that's a slight
Well-
punish.
That's not a slight punish. That's a huge punish because he didn't see anything. Right?
I mean, it's half of Derek's gold, though, right? So, oh, okay, an economy card.
It's not half Derek's gold. It's 1 gold. There's no winter plot.
Well, what Derek just spent half of his gold
Oh, okay.
on
Yeah,
the draw. So what I'm saying,
But you can still Skagos again, like if you didn't like what you saw. It's like giving, although I guess discarding cards is really scary right now, too.
that's true.
Yeah.
Discarding cards is bad for you. Okay,
Unless you
something.
think you can close.
I mean, I guess, yeah, it doesn't matter if Derek thinks he can reach 15 before it gets there.
Here's a Manderley Knight. And fuck Mira.
Okay.
I assume it's
You're out.
Norfolk Mob because
Oh.
otherwise there's no point putting it in shadows when you've got 0 gold.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's got to be small folk mob here,
With the, let's see.
and that's a standing.
let's see if
Stark
there's a
character,
treachery.
right? Or is it just unique?
I believe it's just a unique.
All right. Well, there's
That's
Tywin.
fine.
He solves a lot of problems.
Unique Stark.
Okay.
So we'll see if there's a treachery. If there's a treachery, yeah. Let's find out what's happening.
This is just a really tough spot for Derek. That Tywin is.
If there's not a treachery, I think you're fine. There's no treachery.
All right, so no Tretch. So you what you burn?
So you start.
Start with
You
intrigue.
start. You burn intrigue, then you military for 3. right?
I mean, the military just gets opposed by Gunther, and then Gunther and the
That's fine.
bodyguard go for claim.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
And you've got to get through the 6 strength Tywin with both the small folk mob and the Manderley Knight, which does it, no?
yeah, yeah. So if it's a small folk mob,
But that doesn't
then that's it.
win you.
That wins the game. Power claim, crossing.
Oh, crossing. Yeah, crossing wins the game for you. Yep.
Or just 2 claim power.
Or
Oh,
2 claim.
power,
2 claim
yeah.
helps.
Yeah.
Right, so now... Wait, he didn't even defend it. Yeah, I guess he couldn't. Okay.
So
That's
no.
reasonable. Then now he can win power. Right.
So you let Derek go to 14. Cast the rock in the red keep. Sure.
Although Smallfolk Mob alone requires 2 defenders, which means Derek can win dominance. Carla.
Yeah, that's true.
Which means that, yeah, that should be game. Derek should win. Wow.
Derek.
Heads on spikes. Alright, well, let's see if Derek sees the play. I'm going to just assume Derek sees the play because I don't think I've ever really seen a play that Derek hasn't. But, you know,
Also, we are assuming that it's a small folk mob in shadows,
that's
which
sure.
it might not be. We don't know.
Oh, auto reply has joined. Oh, poor kitten. All right.
Right, I fucking scotch. My wife just went to get my trout. Gonna get loud here in a half hour.
Oh.
Luckily, by then we'll be looking at new decks, and you'll have a Wama who knows how they work.
All right, we've got
Oh,
one.
okay, that's what? Oh, okay. Right.
What's his plan here?
This is Cersei, and then the military does the same thing.
Yeah, because he only
Because
needs
he
the
has
one power.
Because he has 14. He only just needs the 1 power, right?
Yeah, it's almost certainly small folk mob, right, at that point? Or there's some weird misplay we're not seeing.
That is very interesting because, yeah, why would you...
Didn't see the power challenge route, saw the military route.
Possibly.
All right, so we go Cersei defends.
It's easy. I mean, you win the military by more. And 15 is 15 is 15, if that's the play.
Doing the military first here, though, means that if there is some
There's
thing
no
you've
cards in
got...
hand. There's no cards in hand.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So really, burning that red keep trigger was the punish here.
Real bad.
Solid top decking
Good
skills. GG. Yep. Well, I actually think that while Derek did top deck really well there, I actually think
Derek outplayed him.
Outplayed him, and there was a punt though. Like I really think canceling the economy card was the punt.
You shouldn't cancel the counter card. You shouldn't have played heads on sets there.
Yeah, those were the two.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time for this game to end because I need to feed my animals. So I'm going to go and take care of that. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back.
I will die. I'll be right back.
right, we are live with our top four coverage of the Battle of Blackwater Bay. I'm Roy Rogers from the White Book. Joining me is Aaron Glazer, also from the White Book, and everyone's favorite Brit Wama of Listeners' Questions. How you doing, everybody?
Everyone's favorite. I'm not even everyone's favorite Brit that's a TO for this event.
Hey, you can't.
Wait. No one likes Bamford.
I meant
I was-
Vince. He's an honorary Brit.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I was laughing at the existence of listener questions.
Yeah, I did cringe slightly there.
So we are here with Dennis Luke versus Husto Demon, a Stark versus Stark off with Dennis on Lord of the Crossing and the Demon on Stark Fealty. Who do you think is favored in this matchup, folks? I'm now going to get the names right.
I think Eric, aka Ultra Husto Demon, is probably favorite because his deck is gonna try and reduce Dennis's board to nothing. And I mean, that said, all it takes is Dennis getting, the Bear Island Scout train going, and he can potentially get a big enough board that it's not a problem. So maybe it might be a bit of a swingy game. I'm not sure.
Is Dennis's deck is built along similar lines to Derek's that we just watched?
Yes. Yeah. Dennis was playing Mirror as his restricted back before that meant you could have Skagos.
Okay, before it was cool, then you're saying.
Yeah. Both before and after it was cool.
However, there's a couple more events. And, wait. Mira is not the restricted in Dennis's deck. Wait.
Oh, really? He's moved
person?
on.
I might be on the wrong person. What's Dennis's screen name?
Luke 38? Or Luke 90, excuse me.
Luke
No. What?
His name should just be Dennis Luke on the... Attention while we try and find it.
Oh, yes.
Doing this wrong? I searched Wama somehow. What?
No, I think you're right. I think it's I Am No One is his restricted.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm not crazy, right? Like.
Yeah.
Is Mira still
Which, to be
straight? Mira
fair-
is still straight up restricted, right? And not part
Yeah,
of the
and
pod. Okay.
In fact, Dennis is not running Skagos, so he is basically he's taken his deck that he made the top 8 of Starlek with and just removed Mira from it, basically.
So he's actually closer to what Derek was playing before the restricted list when he was playing this list. So.
However,
Meanwhile, on the
look
game,
at the game.
That ward is painful.
Doesn't
What a great
matter
start
if
for
he's
me.
playing
says
anymore.
Dennis.
Holy crap!
All right. Wow. Yeah. This could be a very quick game here. I guess it can only get better. Oh,
I've got
Dennis,
bad
what
news.
a sweet sweet summer child there. It can only get better from here. All right.
Even the Froso. Holy shit, that was mean.
Yeah.
All right, we chose
All
the
right,
wrong.
passing the black
Pass the black
gate.
gate. Oh,
Are we gonna see a Hand's Judgment for no Bran? uh,
yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
I sometimes wish that would just said max one per phase.
Brand?
No, the past the black gate. So if it gets canceled, you can do
it
another
taps
one.
the faction.
No, I know
you
it
can.
does. I said I wish it was max one. So if it gets canceled, you can.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Well, not if it's max 1, surely.
Right,
I
but
thought if
like
it gets canceled because it doesn't resolve.
right, but
That still uses up the
yeah,
magic.
that
well,
uses
yeah,
on
max,
max
okay.
one. Right. Yeah, I thought so
Yeah.
too. Okay, that's why I was
Okay.
okay.
Too used to playing Magic.
Fair. The set sucks and magic. Thrones is better.
I do notice Ultra Husto Demon has saved a gold as well, so possibly we might be seeing Winter is coming.
Winter is coming out.
It's also obviously it's possible he just didn't have the cards to neatly spend all his gold. But
Could be an off the goal town. Not that it seems especially likely.
Seems a little unnecessary on this board.
Well, if you want to win entry. That's
Okay.
a good card.
Great sounds good.
If there is a winter is coming. Oh. Hi, Bran. So,
Okay.
should just play it Bran, then passing the back gate. If you know your opponent has a Bran on the board.
Bran can't cancel
Cancel
Bran.
Bran.
Oh, that's accurate.
There we go.
That's how Thrones works.
Now, if it was Rickons we were talking about, Rickon can cancel
Rickon can't cancel Rickon because they all say
Search.
Military for Moshe, or intrigue, excuse me, for Moshe.
Oh. All right.
Say, it's not been a terrible recovery from Dennis here.
No, winner's coming on the intrigue challenge. That is interesting. So just trying to destroy your opponent's resources.
Yeah, I mean, Dennis has only got 3 cards in hand, whereas he's got multiple Nelt Chuds that he's probably not so fussed about losing.
That's fair.
So,
And also, I guess you don't have any characters in play that you really care about. So there's also an option of doing some kind of reset, right?
yeah,
They have no
it
cards in some
has
kind of
it
reset.
has prompted the Bran for the intrigue.
Okay.
So,
Protect.
Dennis has sort of effectively moved the Winter's Coming back over to the military by taking a character off the board.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And loses She Bear. That's got to be slightly annoying. And no. All right, we get the intrigue challenge from the crossing player.
Yeah, all 3 challenges should come unless there's a trick here, right?
And
Yeah.
military.
Which is the crossing player's real hope right now, being able to do all 3 enough to
Stay.
survive it.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
definitely
like-
not a bad recovery for Dennis.
But yeah, basically, Dennis has been sort of the analogy I make is he's been knocked off balance by what's happened to him round 1, and now he's going to be falling for the rest of the game. But he's going to just try and run forward as he's falling, so that by the time he stacks it, he's over the finish line.
Fair enough. Which means what really matters for a whatever Ultra Husto Demon.
Husto.
Husto Demon. Really prefer a real name here. Is
Eric. His name is Eric, if you want to just call him that.
Eric.
Eric.
What really matters is width of board for Eric, because width of board allows the forces the crossing to only get power on 1 to 1.5 challenge, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming we get 2 claim
Yeah.
from Eric.
Yeah. So as Eric is running the winter package, right? So we could get something like Long Winter.
Yeah, Long Winter, Winds of Winter, Famine. I don't know exactly what his plots are.
Eric, wait, Eric's plots? Sorry.
Eric picked.
Yes.
Yeah, Long Winter. Okay.
Yeah. Long double wins, Winter Reserves. It's the same. I've been Valor. I think it's the same exact plot deck as DK.
Quite possibly.
Except it's running the Ramsey little package instead of the Direwolf package. Ramsey's more months.
Right. So
I
same
think that-
plot
that's
line and
different.
sort of general outlook on life, but quite a different method of trying to achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right
So
after
why
that
do you
tournament.
think Palace of Sorrows here
that
from
was-
Derek?
I mean, there's a Daisy on the board. He might just be trying to rein Daisy in.
Dennis, not Derek.
Oh, Dennis. Sorry, I'm used to Derek.
Roy's so
Derek was
used
the
to
last.
commentating.
I was very.
That's
My
fine. For a
whole
second,
brain
Dennis,
was
excuse
like,
me,
huh?
because we just did
Yeah.
Derek with this same sort of deck.
Um,
So with Dennis,
Ooh,
excuse
that
me.
is a
Ooh,
good.
super good recovery.
Yeah.
Wow, the
Yeah.
top 5 or so cards of Dennis's deck were. Ooh, okay. No save Arya.
a V. Oh, yeah. Never mind.
We were just saying about how Eric's best strategy is probably going to be to deplete Dennis's board. Well,
You
good
can
luck.
just all go wide together.
Yeah. And Palace of Sorrows rewards the person who goes the most wide. So
It's very true.
And No Save Arya does win an Arya off with her doppelganger, so. That might be. I feel like actually No Save Arya and Core Arya might be one of the best attempts to like make really different versions of a like marquee character.
Yeah, you've got the default one, but then you've definitely like I No Save Arya obviously has a very real place in a lot of decks.
And isn't just a straight power creep.
Yeah. There's some of those, but yeah, I think most characters you know which one you're going to see.
All right. Here we go with Dennis swinging in. All right. Defend with Bran. All right. So Small John Under gets that renown. It's not quite as good with Sorrow's out. We get Arya and Great John coming in for this military challenge, deciding where the Arya stealth target goes.
Hi.
Hi, Aaron. All
My
right.
Wi-Fi died for a moment, but I'm back, obviously.
Cool.
Did I miss anything?
Nope. Won a military challenge, or excuse me, a power challenge with uh, Beardy Umber over there, and now Arya and Papa Beard are coming in for a military challenge.
Wait, really? 'Cause then I'm behind. Let me refresh this.
Yeah, refresh it. You've disconnected in the game.
Yeah, I'm out of the game. All right, give me one sec.
All
Uh,
right. But we see a super defense from Eric and an unopposed intrigue challenge with Lord of the Crossing. Hits, okay. A source of renown in the form of Dennis Mallister.
Oh, I guess intimidate on Rachel. I was thinking why go in that hard on
And the
the
stand.
opposing, but yeah, the intimidate and stand from Great John would have been annoying.
Pretty devastating.
so I have I guess this is almost a theory question, but if you are our demon friend here, do you go this wide this turn, or do you just try and reset the empty-handed opponent who has no economy?
It's a good question. I
I
mean, there's possibly a chance he was scared that Dennis could close.
From 5? I mean, with
I mean, granted, that would have been a long shot.
yeah,
close,
from
but
5 with no hand or very little hand is rough, right? Like if you keep 4 or 5 cards in hand instead of 2, you're very far ahead on a reset when your opponent has no econ.
He also, to be fair, he might not know what Dennis's restricted is, because if Dennis was on return to the fields, then
That's
going with
reasonable.
that strategy would lose him the game. This is probably sort of the safer play to just try and, punch him
pressure.
until he's down.
I just feel like I lose a lot of start crossing games where I try and stay just ahead.
It's easier to stay ahead of Stark when you're Stark, though, to be fair.
Fair. Fair.
You definitely can leverage the snowball elements of Stark just as well as your opponent. And stealing Daisy is a pretty good like incentive to go wide um, if you're not going to reset.
Very true. So I assume we get Wind Die from Dennis here. He's thinking about it, so might be considering Daenerys. We do get Daenerys. What do you keep here of your Eric? I guess Daisy or Shariah Steward? Yep.
Yeah. That famine is going to be very annoying for our no economy friend here.
Hmm.
All right. Dennis. Oh, well, King's
Not when
Road
one
helps
of the
solves that.
cards.
And
Yeah.
Catelyn. Okay.
Oy.
That said, even that may well not be enough to withstand this.
Draw.
No.
Wow.
Okay. Just turn this famine into a double wind eye turn, where you
Because
don't have to
Great
protect
John is
him.
off right now, right?
No, this is the last
Last
round
turn.
where he'll
Last turn.
stand.
Okay.
He's up. But, yeah, I guess if you use him with Arya.
If you use him with Arya, they have to very commit.
Well, you just chump it with a number loyalist, I guess, at that point.
Look, you don't really want Great John to stand and intimidate something, though, right? Because that's
Because with
for
Arya,
7.
that's a 7 that you can intimidate.
I guess, yeah, maybe you just oppose it with both the loyalists and Osha.
Yeah, that would be my guess. Just you withstand the. I have one claim. Maybe you do. It's close.
I
If
guess
I'm
the key bit is the intimidate and the stand, getting to stop those rather than the claim.
Yeah.
if I'm Dennis, I'm starting with Sansa. I love that little crossing. Never mind, I lied.
She's 0.
Yeah, not worth it.
I mean, you might still start with her.
I don't think so.
You think
You
you'll
don't know
throw her
what's
in the
in
power
you don't know
challenge?
what's in the demon's hand. You don't know how bad they want to protect it, right? Like give them the chance to overreact.
Fair.
I've seen people try and protect cards that are
Unnecessary.
yeah.
Well,
As Dennis, who is not from DC, thinks.
So I've been sort of mostly slumming it around the lower tables all day. How, like, while they're thinking, what sort of thoughts have you had on the tournament so far? What's the meta been like? Has it been good?
Mostly.
Trash?
There's just a little bit too much big guy deck happening still. As you can see by the top 4, right? Like big guy decks that get ahead are still really hard to beat. So a lot of the game is defined by how good are you at getting ahead.
That's fair. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say start decks nowadays are big guy decks. Like you have Rob maybe,
Fair,
but
yeah, that's reasonable.
I mean, out we've got 11 characters on the board, only 3 of which are above cost 3, none above cost 5.
Yes, look, all of that's reasonable. A lot of
I,
this is just Bear Island Scout wasn't restricted, right?
yeah, or only restricted in a pod with Wyman.
Right. So it functionally what that did is ban Lyman, which is what we've seen.
Mm.
It's just if you can Bear Island Scout a lot of the other strategies, like you're wide enough that you don't need especially big guys. You just need to be able to get through. I don't think crossing exists without Bear Island Scout.
That's fair.
I think Fealty does, but I think it's a much more interesting deck.
Interestingly, Eric's decided to go defensive here, so he opposed and lost the intrigue, opposed and won the military, and now he's opposed and won the power, even though it means he only gets to do a single challenge back on his 2 claim turn.
Yeah, with a small board on the opponent's side and the potential for no saves.
Yeah, he could have left Arya standing and then gone in military. And yeah, at that point, Dennis
It's
would have
done.
been in. I mean, he would have been relying on a good top deck, but Stark are very good at good top decks. So maybe he's just trying to focus on making sure Dennis's power is as low as possible, and as long as he can keep Dennis hovering around 5-6 power.
Yeah, reasonable. Wins into Windeye.
Yeah,
Windeye
which I
after
assume Windeye is what Eric was expecting last turn when he flipped Famine.
Yep.
He wanted to be able to force Dennis not to be able to play everything out on the Windeye turn.
I thought Windeye was the play last turn as well. Like, generally speaking, for not that there's anyone new left. You want to reset the turn after they think you have to reset, unless you're going to lose immediately.
Yeah, reset either the turn after or the turn before.
Yeah.
Or in this case, it was, yeah.
It was right exactly when it was expected, which was.
Well, you say that, but I mean, we both were expecting Wind Die,
Yeah,
and I think Eric was too. So
yeah, but
maybe it was the turn
I
before.
think we were all like top 4. Clearly, you're just not going to go Eric here. Which I guess is. Ooh. Frickin'. Not the end of the world.
Yeah, it depends whether we now have a Skagos or not, probably.
Well, it depends. Also, if you can get the military through what are you standing, right?
Yes.
2 flame is annoying for demon. Demon is, if you name yourself Ultra Husto Demon, you get to be demon.
The
But
Ultra makes the screen name.
I like the Husto in the middle because I don't know what the hell that means. The other parts I get. But demon can eat 2 flame all day right now.
All right.
I was convinced God was going to break the game, by the way.
Reined in by the fact that most winter plots have low reserve, and then made reasonable by winter reserves coming out to raise the winter plots reserves.
Yeah, I mean
exactly
this deck plus David Kennedy's deck that we saw at Feast for Crows does show that the winter package is strong and Godswood is quite good. So it may have broken the game, Glazer just may have taken a while and some restrictions.
It took Wyman being restricted, so start players had to, and I am no one, so start players had to dig up slightly less efficient draw cards, and saw one that said draw X cards where X is your claim, and then had a semi and went from there.
Yeah, and restrict a bunch of the good utility plots, so these like do nothing winter plots look a little bit better.
Yeah, although to be fair to DK specifically, he was playing Godswood before it was cool. He I remember Nationals, I think 2018 in the UK. It was the one right after Wyman had come out. DK was running Godswood, and then put Jon Snow in his deck instead of Wyman because he couldn't find Wyman and felt like it basically did the same thing.
Oh.
All right, so we see a cat rumble in here, by the way.
In fairness, Jon Snow and Wyman still work better together than most people are prepared for.
This is true.
I mean, not that you should run more than one Jon Snow ever.
Yeah,
but...
and this wasn't Jon Snow and Wyman. This was Jon Snow instead of Wyman.
Yeah, look, it's not a good idea.
But he made the cut with it, to be fair to him.
I mean, Jon Snow is still a fine card. Like,
well, DK is also very good. If he hadn't started playing Godswood, I don't feel like we would be seeing it right now.
Quite possibly. I can't speak to the Czech meta and when the deck we're seeing now came about, but it's definitely possible. He certainly, before the last month or so, was the only person I'd ever seen play it.
All right.
Where's Noah? Oh, good.
Arya's coming in with Great John. Excuse me. Okay, defend with 6 here, so nothing gets knelt.
Yeah, just don't like Great John, clearly. Like, there's been I don't want to say an overreaction, but close to an overreaction at the least to the presence of Great John's Intimidate, right?
Yeah, I think here, though, it is important to be able to stop the dupes being taken for claim on the military swingback.
Okay.
So you'll...
Earlier, I agree, but for this round, I think it does matter.
Yeah, I mean, you just need to keep... Yeah, I guess she's too strength. It's harder to keep her up.
So... Yeah.
Up to 9 is the crossing. But
now this military is going to be...
real bad.
Bad.
Yeah.
And you're going to draw some cards here, too.
Yeah, draw 2, and unless you keep both Arya... Oh, no, just opposing it in the first place. I was going to say, Unless Dennis kept Aya
Oh.
and Sansa.
Oh.
Winter is coming.
Oh, good game.
GG. Wow, that is a hell of a swing.
Yeah. I mean, and now we get the 2-claim intrigue to clear Dennis's
Well,
hand out
he
again.
doesn't have
Although
to do
reserve
that.
would do that anyway, obviously.
Yeah. I don't. Do you even do that? Yeah.
You went unopposed, right?
Just win. No, you win dominance anyway. No, just take dominance.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get unopposed. Sansa's sitting right. Oh, I guess
Sansa's
Sansa's going to
dead.
be 0 strength.
Sansa's
If
gonna be dead.
She's
she's
gonna
going to
be
be dead or 0 strength.
Yeah. Holy shit.
So we'll find
That
out
was
how
a
much
tough-
Dennis values her insight now, I guess.
Her 0 strength insight. Oh. So Harris is gone. There's no more reset.
No more reset, no more draw.
Mm.
What does Dennis have left? Weapons at the door. I mean, getting rid of Ward would be useful, I suppose. And then Withering Cold and Loan from the Iron Bank aren't doing anything really here.
Mm-hmm. Jeez.
So
Well, if you just look at power and nothing else,
so I'm guessing we get 2-claim stomping into weapons at the door and just hope to top deck an intrigue icon.
Yeah.
does that get rid of the ward? Yeah, right.
It will get rid of the water and it will get rid of the frozen solid. So not obviously not as important, but
Yeah, it gets
The
you back to
stand is
DC and a
helpful.
stand, right?
Yeah,
It's also
yeah.
+3 power, isn't it?
It
yeah,
is.
you get it.
Like that pushes you up to 12,
That's a very good point. That is a very good point.
and your opponent down to 6, which is also
It's a huge swing.
yeah,
Yeah, and there's an intrigue icon.
yeah.
And the fact that Dennis chose to pop the King's Road for that
Means
when he had the gold to afford it means he might have an I Am No One in his hand, and if he does, then he could win the game.
Steal this.
I mean, it depends how much Eric can put out here, basically.
Oof.
That's good.
Well, it's not like we're gonna ambush a creature, so character. Excuse me. Wrong game.
You only ambush creatures if you've got the Wolfswood in play.
Right.
And even then,
Dragons, I think, would count as creatures, right?
yeah, I suppose.
There used
Not
to be the
not since
creature
first
type.
edition.
There used to be
Yeah.
a creature type.
I remember. The North remembers.
Well, look, we are all 1.0 boomers here, so
Man, and the stand. Entry?
Yeah, stand with both stealth and renown.
Yep. I think you do the military with AC to force double defense. Oh no, just the Hearth Scouts.
yep, force.
Yeah, but just the Hearth Scouts is enough, right? Ooh.
Yeah, I think this is going to, subject to what Eric's got in his hand, this is going to be it. Although, again, he's also kept 3 gold. I don't know what tricks, if any, he's got to put in from hand.
Okay.
But that's an unusual amount of gold to save. And we do have the I Am No One.
There's nothing that should do anything unless Skagos, I guess, very well. No, nothing.
I know on the Aria. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Let's help.
Yeah.
Which she has the 2 icons that are still
They're
relevant,
still
basically.
relevant,
Can't do it on Daisy. If you could.
yep. Be very good.
Oh, actually, she'd lose the strength. Maybe not.
Oh, she did lose a strength. You're right. So we go military challenge here. Only for 6 strength. Stand Daisy. Yep.
I think you stole this.
Yeah, this sums up the power of both
But
Crossing and
that-
Dennis. Because, I mean, it was literally last round when we were saying GG in favor of
But that
Eric
play,
and
that play
Sutfield.
earlier where you reset, this is why. That like where you just reset the board and say, "I've got card advantage," right?
12.
Yeah. You have to
GG.
suggest that Eric perhaps didn't expect the
Holy
weapons
shit,
at the door
yeah.
because he had
Sure, sure.
multiple
But, like-
chances to kill the Daisy.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah, I think there was some greed with keeping that Daisy around.
I should
Yeah,
have
he's-
killed her.
Yep.
I should have killed her
Yeah.
in the chat.
Yeah. I mean, I think he and this also the play pattern also probably tells me that Eric didn't know about the weapons at the door, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You don't know what opens the door. That's why you, instead of assuming that you know what the cards, instead of assuming you have perfect information, assume you have imperfect information, and let having more cards be your win condition.
Yep. So are Derek and Tomash still playing?
I'm gonna assume yes, unless Derek got a God Draw and Tamas crapped out.
Looks like it's over. Nope, there it is. They're just not under competitive. So why don't
Yeah.
we jump into that game and
You know,
see who will be
BB1
joining Dennis in the finals.
really hope it's that. Oh, Jesus Christ, this board. I'll be right
I
back.
mean, two people who are fond of going wide.
Well, they've both done that.
Let me bring the game up for you. There you go. Let me get. I'm actually not gonna bring the side chat up because the boards are so wide. So this will make it easier to track. All right. All right. Derek does not defend this power challenge.
We've got 25 minutes left. No wall yet for Tamas. No reset flipped for either yet.
Yeah, and we know Derek is. They're only on plot 3, right?
Wow, 30 minutes to go partway through third plot is.
I mean,
impressive.
no one's going to accuse Derek of being particularly fast, and Tomash is very slow. For good.
I assume that's why Derek plays Crossing, right? Because it's a quick enough deck that he can fit it in the time limit normally.
That's very fair. He's very methodical. So is Tomash.
Both of them have this annoying habit of thinking about what the best play will be and then doing it. I mean, my gut instinct here, as a biased person towards the deck that I played at Worlds and Starlek, is that the power totals are even, the boards are even, but one of the agendas says draw 3 cards, so that deck's probably going to win.
Yeah, I mean, particularly with the boards being this nuts, I would also probably say right here that I would be happy to be sitting in Tomash's spot. He has almost all the tools, but this is definitely a matchup where you want the wall, or the way this matchup has played out. He's just needs the wall because Derek can get out from under you with some tricky stuff here. Although without the access to I Am No One, that is a little harder.
Yes.
So.
And looking at Derek's side of the board, I see he does have 2 characters. Yeah, he has 2 stealth characters, but Arya has a milk on.
She does, yep.
Tamas casually just playing out Hob, Messenger Raven, Messenger Raven.
Yeah, no Valid O'Harish yet.
No reset from either side.
Hello, friends.
If I remember right, Tomash is running 2 resets, right?
Both the Harris and Margolis.
All right, so he does need to be a little bit careful without the wall, that he won't push himself into a situation where he has to reset himself with this crazy board.
No Craster? No Craster.
No, he's got Craster.
Oh, well then.
But Craster has 3 power on him and a Lord Commander. So, I mean, maybe the Lord Commander makes up for not having the wall, but Derek's board is also big enough that, I don't know. There's a lot of math that's going to be going on here.
But Roy, who's on the beatdown?
Oh, that's a good question. I would believe right now it is actually probably Tomash.
Yeah, me too. Hi, Jermaine. And hi, Storm.
Apologies if this is something you've already talked about in the previous games you've seen of Tamash, but I do quite like the double sorrows with Haunted Forest to just give you that +1 on all the challenges. So you're saying you have to commit not just as many as I can commit, but you have to commit 1 more. and that makes
Yeah.
a huge difference. Albeit possibly less so on boards this big. I'm not sure. That said, it's a little unusual maybe that he's taken Holder as his restricted card, given that 2/7 of his plot deck say Holder is blank.
Well, he can't take Yorin, and for some reason, Hobbs not restricted.
Sure, I mean I'd be tempted to take Return maybe.
Yeah,
But
well,
you're already tempted to run
but we've
Double
met you.
Sorrows, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
well
So
maybe even Breaking Ties.
Breaking Ties is
you do love
very-
that card, Wama.
I
Do you
think
have enough
with-
loyal characters?
better.
I think you do. Yeah, I mean you've got the Woodsman, the Messenger Ravens, Hob,
And Sam.
Samwell, presumably others that aren't currently on the board.
Well, the remarkable thing, though, about the good Night's Watch cards, right, is a lot of them are not loyal.
Yes.
So that's what I always found in builders when people were pushing to play Breaking Ties back when Wars was still legal.
Mm.
The math is done. Derek's making the power.
Okay.
Yeah, especially back then with builders, because Castle Black Mason and Messenger Raven were basically the only loyal ones in the deck, and you definitely didn't want to sacrifice the Masons.
Yeah. So you had to see the Ravens, and you couldn't search up the Ravens. So
Yeah, why don't we just talk about builders for the next 20 minutes? I'm sure the stream would love that.
I mean, okay, well, all right, 22 strength power challenge.
That's the first challenge?
That's the only challenge, I believe.
I was going to say, how is it 22? But Arya is immune to the plot effects because of Scepter, so her strength is actually only 1 instead of 3. That's quite enjoyable.
Did he know that?
It's a good question.
If
I mean,
he
either
spent an
way, it
hour
doesn't...
counting- Well, if he spent an hour counting and didn't realize that.
I mean, because of Haunted Forest, it makes no difference, because either way, Tamas would have had to defend with 8 power icons, because that'll take him to 25. If he defended with 7, it would take him to 22. So, whether he remembered it or not, it makes no difference. It just might mean that he has a moment of, oh crap! Oh wait, no, it's fine.
Well, he won't realize it's fine, because he's not a mathematician. But, yes. Yeah.
How can you play Start Crossing all the time and not be a mathematician?
7? So, with the stealth, are there enough power icons?
Oh, I'm not doing that math.
Well, I'm asking Wama. That's why I'm asking you.
There's no stealth in this challenge because Alisane only has it on military. Arya's blanked.
It's blanked, yep. Okay.
So
you can.
How many power icons does Tamas have?
7, I believe I counted.
3, 4,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I make it 7.
7, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that means Tamas just lets it unopposed and jumps it with the Haunted Forest, and then Derek passes. Oh no, Tamas has got him for 19.
Does he have?
Or he says you cannot have your
superior claim. No superior claim for you, buddy.
Okay, that makes sense.
1 power on Sansa.
1 power for claim.
2 for claim.
2 for claim.
2 for claim.
Which means next turn, is there still a Winter Festival? Nope.
No, both of them. I feel like Winter Festival is like the main way that Derek's gained power in this game.
I mean, not if he's at 11. Wow.
That was a
Hey, Lano Hunter is back.
He's a very active viewer.
He's a very active meme name. Cat Sparkle, my favorite name of the day that I haven't mentioned on stream yet.
Another one of my defunct Team Barra people for war.
Ah, whoever that is, tell them I like their name.
They have a good Iron Throne name.
It's surprisingly enough, it's someone called Cat.
Wow, that's very surprising.
I went to go to the bathroom and my cat was there, so I stopped to play with him. Cats are amazing.
They are amazing.
Ooh. Military for 3, buy 3, defender for 3. Does that mean we're gonna actually kill the vengeance?
Possibly. He might value the effect, the anti-stealth effect more when he's got, he can afford to kill him. Oh, it's 2 claims, so maybe so. My
Is there a
first instinct
reason?
was aim and trigger in a bird, I guess.
Is there a reason to not use Mullen on the intrigue here?
No, I imagine that's what Tash will be doing in a moment.
Yeah. Okay.
Ah, I missed Ghost on Season Woodsman when I pitched my other thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Let's see. It's like there's plenty of time now.
I don't know.
Oh. Okay. What?
Well, Tomash already passed challenges.
Yeah.
I guess Derek didn't bother doing the last intrigue because Tamash wins it anyway, and he has insight from Samwell, so it's actively bad for him to declare it.
Okay.
And Lord Commander as well from Craster.
That's fair.
Okay.
It's interesting that Thomas is taking gold. I guess he wants to pull back one Messenger Raven and then Hob up to 7 cards.
Yeah, extra card that way.
He could have just taken 2 cards and then kept both the birds in play, but I'm sure
Roy,
he
you
has
have a
his
message.
reasons.
Roy, you have a message from Chris Schoenthal with the word "worlds" after this turn.
Well, okay. I will do that. I'll deal with that after the stream.
Yeah, obviously. That's seasoning.
Oh, superior playing that's ditch. So Tomash was right to play around that superior claim.
Yeah. Also, I've just looked at the chat, and I'd like to apologise to Josh for not noticing that Holder could have still boosted Craster on Sorrow's turn.
Oh.
Can you never apologize to Josh again?
I make it my life's mission to apologise to Josh.
Can win on D and trigger Lord Commander. I don't quite know what the context of that one was. All right.
Now Tamas has the fun decision of, does he want to go first and control the order of plots? And he's decided he does.
I assume he wants the wolf to go into play first.
Yeah. Trying to figure out what Derek keeps. Obviously, he chucks the Umber Loyalists. He keeps Arya by default because she's immune. Then I guess you keep...
Actually,
what?
chucking the Umber Loyalist means you discard your 2 cards in your hand, right? Because unless you don't get...
He's only got 1 card in hand.
There's only 1 card in hand.
But Summer... Is Summer coming now?
Derek has chosen to just put Summer into his hand instead of into play.
Okay.
Oh.
Smart.
It's that way he'll be able to marshal.
Didn't you have just 1 card in hand? Am I wrong?
No, I thought that he...
Yeah, but Derek wants to keep Summer to be able to marshal him.
But if you... Okay. But if you put him into play with Time for Wolves, you get a card in hand that you don't have to discard because you only have 1, not 2, no?
Yeah, but now this way, he's still only got 1 card in hand because he's not put Summer into play, so Summer's not pulling a second one back.
So you get 2 characters in marshalling rather than 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Basically, the only way it's a bad deal for Derek is if
he
can't afford Summer and
Right.
whatever else he wants to play, because now he has to play Summer to get the Bear Island Scout or whatever back.
But he's pretty decent on economy.
Well, the issue is if he wants to chain Bear Island Scouts, I suppose. But
Yeah, which I assume he will, because
he wants to shuffle his deck to put a bunch of these things back into his to be drawn.
Yeah.
And Derek has kept Caitlyn, Sansa, and Scepter to just, he's going all in on just trying to get the renown, I guess, there. And obviously, he's kept characters with dupes because he knows from the previous game that Tamash also has Morgulis.
Mm-hmm.
Just Iron Throne going slow, Tomash. It's getting a little laggy. And now,
Really wish, whatever. Not super relevant, but really wish they had chosen to make any character but the pedophile this good.
oh, Craster?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. I was like,
Yeah,
which pedophile? That's
when you say that about Game of Thrones, you have to narrow
Fair.
it down a bit, unfortunately.
unfortunately, as we remember, we were all reminded of recently.
Hey, bye, Lano.
It's a hell of
We
a
get
burner
Benjin
account
back.
name.
I wonder if Benjin, if Tamas already had the second Benjin in hand when he shuffled the first one back in, or whether he's just redrawn it since.
Multiple Benjins. What a world.
No insight there. I'm just wondering how lucky he was.
Pretty lucky considering that he just duped. He's running 3 Benjins? Wow.
Okay, yeah, that's
Okay.
fair.
I mean, that's a decision that I don't suggest anyone but Samash should make.
I was going to say it's a very Tamash decision.
Yes, right.
It is. It's definitely.
I couldn't get away with that.
I couldn't get away with that.
Part where he's figured that Night's Watch Valyrian Steel works. He's figured the 50 cards that you absolutely 100% need to make it work, and then for the final 25, he just dicks about to surprise people every tournament.
Or the cards he most enjoys. And Benjin's a fun card.
Yeah, and especially when you've got Valar Morghulis still as one of your final 2 plots.
All right, we're down to the 10-minute mark. Barrel and Scout comes down for a
Instantly. Sad draw for Derek, incidentally. Dupes of Caitlyn and Septa Mordain are not what he wanted to see at this point.
Nope.
I guess he gets maybe another Bear Island Scout and then Alisane? Oh, no, going straight for Daisy. Okay.
Okay. I mean, she's good on this board. And he's already burned both of his sorrows, right? So.
Yeah. And Milk is stuck on Arya. He might have found Craven by this point, but... Or Strangler.
If he has, he probably would have used it, no?
No, because he hasn't burned his ambush yet, right? Like.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
The main advantage, right, of Valyrian Steel over Builders when it comes to control attachments is that you can play it
instant. Samash hates Builders.
Well, yes, but also that you can play at instant speed with some of the attachments, right? Or ambush speed, or whatever the term you want to use in Thrones. You don't have to commit to cravening the wrong thing.
Hmm.
Ah, okay. That confused.
Why is nothing else in that intrigue? Did I miss something? Ah, I'm wrong. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, looking at the wrong side of the board, I think.
Oh.
Corn in here.
No.
All right.
Sorry, Alta's deck so often wants him to go second through me.
Yeah. Especially on turns when he wins initiative.
Right, exactly.
But Tomash has got Lord Commander, so he's definitely as much on the beatdown as anyone else, as Derek is.
Yeah, Tamash cannot afford to go all in on attack here because then Derek will win.
So who should Mullen be telling to not participate in a challenge? Is it going to be Daisy?
It's an interesting one because obviously the issue he's got is that whichever challenge type he says can't be done, they'll go in on the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So he might just choose to save it until the third challenge.
Seems fair.
That, or say Derek opens with the intrigue challenge. He might then say, okay, Sansa can't do power, just to
Stop the renown.
guarantee one of the renowns, yeah.
6 strength Sansa.
Nothing's dead.
Yeah, or something was dead, but now it isn't dead anymore.
Right, summer.
Alright. Does Derek Are the inner tubes clogged between Central Europe and Eastern Pennsylvania? And there's lag. I guess Derek's more like Central Pennsylvania, but. Nope. 17 strength.
Well,
Defense for the power challenge.
really
Huh.
big.
So Derek's just defended with Caitlyn to stop tricks, and then both of the renowned bodies.
Hmm.
To prevent the Strangler. But the Strangler
Yeah.
actually the oh wait, no, because it's a.
Catelyn to prevent any bullshit.
But she doesn't
right?
actually prevent
Yeah.
ambush. But it doesn't. You have to use the
It doesn't-
ability to get ambush.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not ambush, it's action.
Action.
Pay X to.
Yeah. Yeah. As Derek well knows, Winterfell effects do not stop ambush.
Hmm.
Or cards coming out of shadows.
Military pursuit. One claim.
Okay.
Likely one of the dupes on Scepter.
You think you just block with? I mean, you can.
I don't block. It's 2 power versus the potential to close.
Actually,
Well, I guess yeah,
don't.
close
I mean,
it.
if you this is a military, right? Do you just single block? Okay, and then and kill so they don't get the power.
Well, they get a power.
Oh, I mean, do you stop the Lord Commander here? Because can't. Oh, I guess Arya will lose the ability to go in a power challenge, right? If you do that.
I mean, I don't know if Tamas wants to do any challenges because of the Castle Black, right?
Well, but you've got the stealth with Arya, right? So as long as
No, Arya's milk.
Well, that's right. I keep forgetting that she's milked because she
Yeah.
still has an icon. So yeah,
Yeah, I think we're passing here.
yeah. I think we are just passing.
Yep, Scepter trip. Pass.
That'll be Dom to Tamash. So 13-10 to
With 3
Derek?
minutes left.
But Derek's played both Winter Festivals already.
Yeah, there's not an easy power game unless you drop.
Can he just Alpha Strike though? Like burn one challenge? Because Derek or Tomash doesn't have a lot of renown, right? So can you
Yeah.
burn the intrigue challenge and then just Alpha Strike the power challenge
I
Battle
wonder
power.
if
with Catelyn?
Tamash's play here might be to Morgulis.
Yeah.
Because 4 of Derek's power is on characters. And while 5 of Tamash's power is, that character is immune to Morgulis.
That's fair. And that would put him.
Ooh, Strangler.
Strangler's going on Catelyn.
The
Okay.
fact that it's gone on the duped character and not on Daisy tells me that he's intending to Valor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It
I
also
mean,
tells-
and there's some juicy targets here, right? You get Summer and Daisy and.
Yeah, I mean, Arya,
Sansa.
Scepter, and Cat stick around, but none of them have power. And that's kind of all Tamash is going to care about with the clock being what it is. And then
yeah,
obviously-
the clock and the fact that he's up on power then at that point by 1, if my math is right.
Yep, or 3 if he triggers Benjen, which he may or may not do in that scenario. And then you look at the backboards, you look at the hands, you look at the fact that Ghost and Seasoned Woodsman and Crasto will both survive a Valor. I think Derek would have to top deck very well from that point.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see that dupe on that Benjen.
I mean, there's yeah.
Versus
It like
keeping one in your hand and then just killing the Benjen. and gaining the power and then playing it again, you know? But, I mean, I'm not Tomash, so. Well, the Val Margulis play is the play he sees here.
And Derek presumably has just flipped his highest gold plot to see what he draws.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Derek's other plot was, but...
Yep, so Benjamin's saved. Okay. Oof. That duplicit Sansa is very sad.
I'm not seeing a Skagos all game. A lot of not great things here for Derek.
Mm-hmm.
Although, in fairness, he's got a lot of cards left in deck for this point in the game.
Yeah, I mean, a few of them went under with Harris earlier, but not enough to explain it being that many still.
Not enough to explain it being even with a 75 card starting deck.
Yeah.
Just didn't see enough draw.
Yeah, he had the 2 Umber Loyalists, and otherwise I think it's just been the win or die, right?
Uh-huh.
And I guess kinda sorta if you squint Summer.
It's card advantage.
Yeah.
With,
It's a card out of the deck, so...
well, with Bear Island Scout, right? Especially.
Alright. Dupe for Craster. Ghost comes down again. Well, I mean, Tomash has the best possible rebuild here.
Oh, until we see Jon Snow. No.
We actually haven't seen John in any of the Tomash games we watched.
Thank you.
Did he cut him?
We have seen Lord Commander in every Tomash game.
Well, one person gave him the Lord Commander, which I still don't quite understand.
Tamash is not on Jon Snow.
There we go.
There we go.
Which is a choice.
I mean, so he's just playing a wall deck with Valerian Steel. No.
His Lord Commander targets are 3 Benjen, 3 Craster... Sorry, 2 Benjen, 3 Craster, 1 Janos, and that's it.
Looks like he did redraw that engine.
Yeah, that's like the Stone Cold Nuts.
Ooh, with the pumps from Halder. Rough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Derek does here.
What's Derek's last spot?
Oh, there's no more plots
Sorry?
after this. Time's up.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well,
Derek needs... He's got no bigs, right, Derek? So... I don't know.
Yeah.
sure.
For what it's worth, Derek's last plot is Harris.
Not
But-
super. We're not getting there. That's what they do.
Obviously
Bran.
irrelevant to this game.
Why don't you know?
And that's
I guess
it.
we don't get it.
Okay. I mean, does Tomash just pass here? Or do you try to...
At the risk of calling it wrong 2 games in a row, I assume Tamash will win this game.
If you're wrong, you're not forgiven.
Is Tomash also off most of the expensive attachments besides Lord Commander?
He looks like he's got the normal lot. He's got, Catapult.
Okay.
He's obviously Lord Commander. He's got, Stranglers in play. He's got Ghost. There aren't that many expensive
No
attachments
Long
after that.
Claw?
He's got
Snow
Longclaw.
Oh, he's got Longclaw? Okay.
Oh,
Are we getting the rare sight of Tamash dicking about?
no, it's threatening Bran to stop it, isn't it?
Just try
Possibly.
Like Bran was the obvious defense there, and if Bran stops it, you're on a post.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Do you do much beyond this power challenge?
I mean, it doesn't really matter
Because
now,
you have
does it?
no
It
claim.
shouldn't matter.
I mean,
I don't know
Derek
what
doesn't
Derek
have the
can do.
military challenge, right? So
Does Derek run Gold Town? You said he only had superior claim and
He-
passing, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have gold time. He just has poster.
Yeah, so the card in his hand is meaningless then.
Unless it's superior point.
He's not winning power by 5.
Fair.
no, he's not. Oh, hi, dog. Oh, you want to be friendly, but people wanted to see your sister, but she swiped me and tried to bite me. So
Hmm.
We're now getting the game of see how much power Craster can end on. Ah, and Derek
there we
concedes.
go. And Derek concedes. Great run, Derek. Congratulations, Tomash. And another great finish for Derek. And Tomash, we'll see you in a couple minutes in the finals. So we're gonna,
Where you get to play the same deck.
yeah,
What a
we get to
what a
see the
prize.
exact same. uh, oh, we're gonna see the next same matchup again. We will see you all in a couple of minutes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the finals of the Battle of Blackwater Bay. I am Roy Rogers of the White Book. I am joined by my friend and yours, Aaron Glazer, and I believe he still might be away from the desk right now, but we also have Wama with us as well for the finals.
I'm back.
You're back? Okay, cool. So Wama is here for the finals, so why don't you all take bets on who do you think has the plus matchup here for this final match?
Can I go on a limb first?
Sure.
Sure.
Based on the last game we watched, I'm going to guess Tomas has an advantage.
Seems fair. Seems fair. What do you think, Wama?
I think Dennis has a better matchup than Derek did because I Am No One is a better restricted card for this matchup. But
Definitely.
I still think Tamash definitely has the edge. But I mean, they're both fantastic players who can win games you wouldn't expect them to. So I'm going to be wishy-washy and say I could see it going either way. But I think if they played it 10 times, Tamash would probably win at least 6 or 7.
That is completely fair. I also probably agree with you that the Night's Watch player has the advantage here. I just think you have the right tools to stop Stark Crossing, but definitely the Stark Crossing deck can get out from under you. Like, it's just how steady of a start does Tomash get? And, I mean, maybe cutting the Jon Snow package makes it a little bit more consistent because your curve is lower. And so you can have the sort of... What?
Check the retirement home chat.
Oh, yes, I already saw that. Okay. So you might be a little bit more consistent in having a wide enough stop to slow down the Stark deck in the first turns. So that's where I'm sitting here. Okay, let me... Oh, I need to turn on that. Transition, and boom. All right. We're in first plots time. And that is a solid setup for... Okay. Cards don't get to stand.
Jumps at the gates with the Ricken out. That's... What?
I mean, you've got to burn it, right?
Yeah, I guess.
You already have economy. He immediately goes and plays an economy card.
It's not benefiting your opponent, right?
Yeah.
Still.
There isn't a single search effect in the entire deck other than at the gates.
There is military claim.
There is military claim, and he may not know Dennis's plot deck. He might be trying to sort of take out options for Heir to the Iron Throne, possibly. Obviously, Dennis isn't running that, but... And Dennis opening Withering Cold...
No, also we're running Heir to the Iron Throne, right? Oh, no. Okay, yeah, I get it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Stacking Ricken.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I said it the wrong way around. You're right. But yeah, looking at Dennis opening Withering Cold, I assume that means he's got I Am No One in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly Great John, although the fact that he's popped a King's Road and not marshaled a Great John afterwards would suggest that he's not got Great John in hand.
With 4 gold left, especially.
Yeah.
Great John is not foil, so Danoa. Interesting that Great John never found another home, huh?
What? Great John?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he's just like... I mean, for a while he saw play in kind of like default tempo Stark decks, but I just think he got pushed out by some other
I think
cards.
he's back in the mid-range good stuff Stark decks now. He went out when Yoram was everywhere.
Right.
And now Yoran isn't everywhere, so
he's
gone
safer.
But the problem is obviously the Stark decks that are prevalent now tend to be either the swarmy rush ones or the murder ones.
And is Yoran in a pod with Hob?
Yes, and Craven.
So Yoran is banned.
Yoran and Wyman are both rarely seen cards nowadays.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that we saw, Stark and Night's Watch were the two factions that essentially, like, if you ignore the pod and just read it as having banned that one character, are the two sort of least hit factions by the new restricted list. In that, like Hob left the restricted list and Skagos left the restricted list. Sure, obviously Stark got I Am No One put on there as well. But they neither of them have taken particularly major hits, and those are the two factions that have done the best in Blackwater.
Even more than that, the decks were easy to build around whatever was it, right? Like they didn't lose anything where they had to reconsider how the deck worked.
I think the Wyman losing draw in Stark, but especially when they lost I Am No One as well, or at least had to lose their other restricted as well, meant that there was a choice to make there. In that, like we've seen Gods would come back in, like we discussed in the top
Right.
4 game.
I think a lot of what we've learned today, though, is that there wasn't really a wrong answer.
Yes, yeah,
Like
I think
it was, I can do this or this. Both are fairly here, and either one is good.
Well,
yeah. Wyman was the default restricted choice for Stark. Yoren was the default restricted choice for Night's Watch, but they weren't good enough compared to the other options for them to be reasonable choices to make when you're losing multiple other great cards.
Right.
well, I think also what the last 2 big tournaments have shown is that the experiment to keep some of the power cards in the meta that was clearly marked by that restricted list succeeded with some factions. Like I think Barrow, they hit the right level of keeping powerful cards and not nuking the faction from orbit. And I think that Greyjoy was also that way. But I think Stark and Night's Watch showed that they probably were too forgiving of those factions, and that's where their experiment of let's not restrict to death, let's still try to keep powerful interactions, let's try to keep some of these power cards in the meta. The seams are showing with those factions.
I think a lot of what's holding Barra back right now is actually what they did to Stark, and Stark having such an easy way to answer a lot of their Neil tech.
It's fair.
Possibly. Also, just to briefly comment on the challenges phase that happened, Tamash has basically knelt out his backboard and his faction card in order to stop Dennis from gaining any power. Is the short version.
Yeah, which is an interesting decision, right? Like, because Dennis has a ton of cards here, but no economy. But Dennis is running passing, right?
Yes, yes, he is.
Here we go.
Yeah, we got milk on Daisy, with the fun interaction of her still having strength because it was on the crossing challenge, but she no longer had enough strength to win the crossing challenge. And now having milk Daisy, Tamas has set her strength to 3 anyway.
But she's kneeling, so she's not doing much this round.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting point actually that there could have been an argument for Tamash to save the Sorrows, because we were discussing in the previous game how it's a really good card to have with Haunted Forest, but Haunted Forest is knelt this round, and it also is a really good counter to Daisy, but Daisy's knelt this round, so he's not, and he's also got Holder, although I guess all his things he'd trigger Holder on are knelt already.
Well,
But
if Daisy's knelt this round, that makes Palace of Sorrows better for you, right? Not worse. Because Daisy is milked.
Right,
so
right.
Palace of Sorrows.
Excluding the milk, yes.
Yes, yeah, the milk is a fair point.
I mean, this is going to be, I think, a little bit of a rough turn for Tomash here.
I'm reluctant to say it's a rough turn for the Valyrian Steel deck before we see how many attachments are in his hand.
That's fair.
But certainly Dennis has the superior board going into Tamash's marshalling, and on the face of it,
All right.
6 gold is not enough to sort it, but
Well,
let's see how much gold it actually is.
Well, it's Green Dreams. And is that going to draw a card, or is it going to get us some money? Gain some money from the Seasoned Woodman trigger and from the Valyrian Steel trigger.
Yeah, so Seasoned Woodsman was free, essentially.
Well,
Back up to where they were. Stark and Night's Watch, dull houses for scrubs. The TO, now that he's not TOing, coming for the shade. Unshackled. Bamford Unshackled.
Dave and I have been feuding where I've been slagging off Martell to him as much as possible.
Ah.
I'm surprised he didn't just irrelevantly throw in Tyrell there just to get the full suite of
Well, he was defending
factions I've
Tyrell
played a lot.
earlier in his 1.0 boomer chat
I
with
thought
Glazer.
Tyrell and Night's Watch should not really exist because they weren't first edition factions. So
And Bamford's
why
like,
bother?
Tyrell is so.
I genuinely don't think there are enough different flavors for there to be 8 factions.
Definitely,
Without
they did not
creating
expand
it.
the mechanical color pie, if you want to use that term, mechanical design space enough, I think, in second edition to support 8 factions. uniquely, but I've said this in person as well.
Bamford, who on the call was like, I can't be political at all.
We can be
Now
political about Thrones, so.
suddenly has strong opinions.
Alright, we got a military challenge coming in for 3 strength.
We value strong opinions on this live cast. That's why we added Wama, who said that Tomas would win 7 out of 10 games.
Yeah. I've been trying to work on expanding my brand of like being the most middle of the road, boring, like choice possible. I've currently got next to me a pint of water to drink.
There you go. There you go. You at least have a pint, right?
In fairness, you're usually very correct, which kills me to say.
I don't know if that's true. I'll take the compliment, but I don't know if I agree with it.
You're frequently more correct than Glazer, so.
Well, yeah, that's not difficult.
No, I make hot takes on purpose, right? Like, if you're not more correct than me, like being like, no one said anything interesting in a while, let's decide this card's going to shake up the meta, we have a problem.
All right.
I still remember being introduced to you as Pulse Glazer back on the forums on Card Game VB, calling an absolutely trash Greyjoy card 5 out of 5.
Yeah. Hey, in fairness, you've seen the Card Game DB reviews. I'm not the only one. And I'm at least the one that does it somewhat ironically.
Well, Glazer's irony is one of those things that, it's plausible irony. When he's right, it wasn't ironic, it was being dead serious. When he's wrong,
no, that's not.
That was ironic.
When I'm right, sometimes I'm like, holy shit, I didn't think I was right about that.
So then I am no one on Wyla. Okay. So I do think Dennis has a pretty good start here. That he's able to keep up with the sort of pressure that Tomas was able to put on him the previous turn by just sort of going, because I think Tomas ended up actually just expending too many resources to stop Dennis from getting any power.
Yeah, I mean, with the withering cold chickens are coming home to roost, as I believe the saying goes.
And we have a big old power challenge here. Defended for...
Which further makes Palace a really interesting choice, right? Like, you have a Hob.
Yeah.
And that's your out for this wider board with more standing.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to go back to your earlier point, one of the more interesting deck building decisions that Tomas has made here is running Halder as the restricted card and Palace of Sorrows.
There's not that many other choices, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Halder is just busted with all the attachments you're running, right? So I guess 2 turns a game that you're gonna have to take off from using Halder is okay.
My assumption is there was no other, like, once Tomas decided his plots and they didn't include a restricted card, basically the only real choices he would have had at that point were Holder or Flea Bottom, and he decided Holder is good enough that he's fine with him being bad 2 turns out of 7 if he's amazing on all the others.
Yeah. That is completely fair. I mean, and it's also true without the Jon Snow package to sort of like give you extra reach, the ability of Halder to sort of like turn your Season's Woodman into mini Jon Snows is pretty good too.
Yeah. And we were saying how this has been a good turn for Dennis, a bad one for Tomas, but I mean, if we look at the power totals coming out of that round, I mean, I said that admittedly right before Winter Festival and Dominance, but it's not, given that Dennis has just won Winter Festival and Dominance, he's not on that much power, really.
Well, I mean, but he did gain 6 power that turn, right? Because he was at 0 going in. So I think...
Yes.
So I think maybe they both played... I guess they played each other. Like, I think Tomas overplayed his hand, which did slow Dennis down significantly, but Dennis was able, I think, to make up the tempo here. Like, Tomas just didn't have a strong follow-up, right? Like, I think if he'd taken that line, I had, like, a really strong play, like a Lord Commander or something like that that could, or even go even wider. But he didn't. So I think that they're a bit more at parity than I think Tomash would like to be.
It's interesting that this time it's Dennis who's flipped Sorrows. That Tamash didn't opt to go Sorrows 2 rounds in a row, and now it's going to be Sorrows 2 rounds in a row anyway.
Because, I mean, from the current board state, Dennis is favored with Sorrows, right? And he has a fistful of cards, which are primarily characters, right? And he drew, what, 2 cards off the I Am No One?
Yes, yeah, Weiler won both Intrigue and Power. Dennis actually overcommitted to win Power, even though at the time Tamash had 0 power to claim, just to get the insight with Weiler. So it's clearly something he feels he needs to keep a good hand to stay in this game long term with Tamash on 2 resets.
Right, I mean, 2 resets plus the just torrential card advantage of the agenda, right? Like, you're going to always be down cards against Valerian Steel, but you just can't be like what happened to Derek, right? You just can't get that low on cards.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting tension, I think, between flooding the board and trying to make sure that you have resources for future turns with a deck that's so focused on the board.
I mean, also interesting that Palace of Sorrows is something that both players thought were advantageous enough to play on back-to-back turns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the combo aspect of the deck, where we see a bunch of triggers here for there. Okay, Spare Boot. A little weaker.
Yeah, Spare Boot very much playing the role of power icon this round.
Yeah, ever though, why? Correct me if I'm wrong. Why run Spare Boot if you're not running Jon Snow?
I mean, I think you run if you're running Holder as you're restricted, you run it anyway, and he needs to be able to keep Milk off Craster, I guess, as well.
Milk off Craster, Milk off
Engine.
The ability to stand Practice Blades and stuff like that, as Wama noted.
Yeah, Catapult at the Wall's always a fun one to Spare Boot.
It is.
Oh. You might know something about that,
eh?
Yeah.
Wow, that is just not cool, Glazer. There you go. There's the not cool you're looking for.
In my defense, I wasn't undone by a Spare Boot catapult. I just didn't see the first catapult.
I mean, in fairness, everyone here speaking, everyone here listening, and both of the players have made similarly bad misplays.
Oh, I mean, made infinitely worse.
Everyone
than Wama has ever made in his life.
Everyone who has ever played enough Thrones has made really bad misplays at completely inopportune times.
Yeah.
As I was saying,
there's a lot of
earlier, I have punted every single opportunity that I have had to win or do well at a tournament, except for one. So
I mean, I lost the world's top 32 game when I had a straight shot to the top 4, where I literally had a no quarter in hand that I forgot I should actually play when I won a military.
And for those who don't play First Edition, no quarter was when you win a military challenge in which you have a unique character kill someone. It's like Ice as a 0-cost event.
Yeah, all basically. I had to do was go, oh, and then in marshalling, next phase I looked down and literally screamed. Oh, all right, I should have done that, and his board would have been wiped. And I'd have been at 12 power. Right.
All right, this Intrigue challenge from Tomash is coming in for 3 with Hobby Boy. So, and we get a double block. Okay, interesting.
I guess it makes sense. Yeah, he needed to get the forest melt.
It makes the forest go down. That's very cute.
Yeah, I mean, very important. It's more than cute here on the Sorrow's turn.
Well, I more meant that it's easy to forget that interaction, right? That it's any time the person versus the challenge. No, the play is excellent, and I actually think it's a little greedy for Tomash to be swinging in like this, but
possibly, yeah. Because I mean, kneeling the forest is like having an extra character in on every challenge you attack, essentially.
At least on this turn.
Yeah. Although again, we're going to get the scepter. Oh no, it's Dennis's Sorrows. Never mind. So you won't be immune to it.
Oh yeah, Arya immune to it. Yeah.
I would assume this is unopposed, right?
Um, I don't know. It depends. I assume Dennis is currently figuring out can he oppose this and still win his crossing challenge.
Don't think you can.
I
Yep.
think that's the conclusion he's reached as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. A lot of challenge phases, right? Like, no,
Yeah.
this one has to be unopposed. Okay.
All right. So Dennis lets this one through unopposed.
He's kept 3 gold back. Is that him prepping for potential resets, or is this going to be a second I am no one?
A second I know one would be super clutch here.
Would you even use it right now?
Well, he looks like he
is
did.
using it.
So, who's it targeting?
It's interesting because
My thought was.
Oh.
it doesn't matter because Hand's Judgment.
And his judgment gets it there.
My thought was, would you want that Allison trigger first?
Yeah. I mean, I genuinely would even be tempted to not play it at all this round and keep it for when the boards are smaller after a reset. But
Yep.
I do think though that I think one of Dennis's game plans here is to just not get behind on cards, like, or at least
yes,
And so, like, I mean, particularly if they watched any of Derek's game, like Derek
Well,
was,
I guess they could have.
they could have, right? Like, Derek was maneuvered into a situation where he was living off the top of his deck, which is something that the Valerian Steel deck is almost always going to do better, particularly if they have a board, right? Like, the only time that Night's Watch Valerian Steel is not good at living on the top of its deck when it gets its board reduced to the point where if you go attachment, you're kind of fucked. At least that was my experience playing Valerian Steel.
yeah, agreed. So Tamash opting to take the Vengeance trigger.
Yeah.
Presumably,
Go to
just he wants
10
power
here.
whenever he can get it.
Yeah.
He and you know
Or he goes to 8, right? Does he have
he
6?
may well know Dennis is on a Daenerys. He definitely knows that he is on a Daenerys.
Are you sure he remembers his plots? That's a big ask. Been doing this for 9 hours ish.
I hear the really good players remember them. To be fair,
I mean, and can check at any time.
It's fair.
yeah.
And you can't even tell. It's not even a tell when you're playing on Iron Throne when you're looking at your own plots.
Yeah.
Like
It's
it
not
can
a
be.
tell, really.
It
I
can
sit there
be.
through my plots randomly. I'm like,
Oh yeah, it's true, Glazer. You do just you just shuffle them up and flip one.
I just look at them to look at the pretty pictures.
It's fair. I don't know. FFG was all about banning the alt art ones, so I have mediocre pictures.
So, generally speaking, I have my next 2 plots planned out, right? Mama probably has like all of the plots planned out in order, but I generally know what I want my next 2. So when something comes down that I didn't expect, I almost always look at them to see if that changed.
The only time I'd ever have all my plots planned out in order is if I was playing city plots,
Fair.
because then there's a
Doesn't
specific
sequence,
order I'm
right?
going to play them.
Doesn't even count. I know what I want my next plot to be when I play my current plot, and I know what I'd like the one after that to be.
Yeah.
The one after that changes a million times, but the next one is usually fairly accurate.
I'm slightly surprised Dennis is kneeling the stealth character on the second challenge, not the third. But I guess, has he got enough power icons to win the third challenge anyway? And he just wants to actually win the intrigue and
Yeah.
hit something in Tamash's hand?
If Roy is correct, wow, that's decent. If Roy is
Yeah.
correct and maintaining card parity is the goal, then that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I think this way he wins both intrigue and power. Yeah, he's just kneeling all the bodies.
12 versus at best 12 without.
Yeah.
No, at best 12
And
period.
this shows the earlier play, right, Wama, of like getting the haunted forest down early really rewards you.
Yeah. Yeah, because otherwise Tamash would have been able to win the intrigue and now would be able to win the power. Obviously, what would actually have happened is Dennis wouldn't have...
Made it that way.
Yeah.
You'd have used the extra bodies he had from not opposing the intrigue, but he would have lost intrigue as a result.
Yeah, but I mean, so the question I more think is like, was that intrigue challenge by Tamash a little greedy?
Oh, yeah, I think definitely it was. I mean, that Tomasz declared the intrigue challenge, lost it, and then he did get a power unopposed afterwards. I guess that he maybe couldn't have done without the intrigue, but I think on balance he'd have been better off if he had the Haunted Forested.
And now we see Free Finger Hob doing his hobby business. Well, Badass Bard, that is pretty bad. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Oh, so much for card parity.
Yeah.
Hashtag restrict Hob. Hashtag this wasn't hard in the first place.
He was already restricted, technically.
Yeah, there's just no reason that Hob, or to be perfectly honest, Doran should ever be unrestricted. It's not even about the card's power, it's about the play patterns they inspire.
I mean, the thing about Hob is he doesn't really inspire any play patterns. That's half.
Dorn. You want to dump your hand, which is like there should be a penalty for dumping your hand, right? And he says there is none.
All right, okay. By the way, this means that the last 3 rounds, both of these players think that at the Palace of Sorrows is good for them.
Yeah, it's very interesting that Tomasz feels that here. Like, I got him thinking it at the start of round 2, and I definitely got Dennis thinking it last round. But for Tomasz to think it this time as well is curious.
Let's see what he drew. He also might not want to reset yet. This might be the I want to turn before I reset.
Yeah, I mean, his choices here were Sorrows, Expose, or one of the Valors.
So, he has a big gold plot, or you assume he has a big gold plot, and if he has cards, he wants to play that to counter your Valor, right? So if you can wait one more turn when you Valor, he doesn't have anything to reflood the board.
So, Phil in the chat mentions that it could make Dennis go wide, but Dennis is already up 2 characters here, right? So Tomasz actually has to invest more in the board to make right.
That's what we were just talking about with Hob, though, right? Like, there's not a detriment to Tomasz just continuing to flood the board as long as Hob can stay alive.
I mean,
while each card is a cost for Dennis, for Tomasz, as to an extent, each card under, what is the reserve of this? 5? Each card until he hits 4 is immediately replaced. That's a huge difference.
I mean, that's true, but that's just like raw cards, right? You're not talking about economy, action advantage, and the fact that you are also playing against a rush deck where power is also a resource that needs to be.
If Tamash's plan was to make Dennis play stuff out, it's not worked because Dennis has sat on 10 gold with 4 cards in hand.
Yeah.
I think that might actually.
Hey, Benjamin's back. Tomasz is a damn pro at drawing Benjamin.
The shuffler loves Tomasz.
Yeah, we definitely can't accuse him of stacking his deck or anything here, can we? Unless he's hacked the Iron Throne code.
He has.
Oh man, he sees the Matrix style code. Is Tomasz the one?
An important difference here compared to last.
Bad joke, and I stopped myself.
It took a lot Glazer. I was actually, wait, should I have made that Matrix reference? Did I tee up Glazer doing something that's going to get him in trouble?
Yes, you did.
But yeah, the key difference here compared to last round is Dennis is going first, and that means the Haunted Forest is going to be up for as long as Tamas wants it to be, basically.
There's a good crackback here. So yeah. So, do you think Dennis just kind of played his econ plot here because he didn't have anything better to do? He didn't want to reset. He didn't.
I mean, he's got weapons at the door, which he's presumably saving. He didn't want to play win or die, at this early, I guess. And yeah, he didn't want to Harris, and those were his only other choices.
I could see Harrison before Craster hits the board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you get better. You get at
I
least
guess the
a win
problem
out of
is
it.
at that point Tamash didn't have Benjin out, so
Yeah.
Tamash was keeping 4 characters,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
which is about the same as what Dennis would keep.
Wait,
Um,
did
So
someone
next turn we
actually
should
say
get
that
her.
there have been issues with the Iron Throne Shuffler? Is that actually something that is true, or is that just the same way that there's been the problem with the Hearthstone Shuffler and the Magic Shuffler and the Runeterra Shuffler? Every card game
I,
I've played.
yeah, I don't know if there are any specific
No.
issues, like known issues, with the Iron Throne, or whether it's just one of those things where the human brain is programmed to notice patterns and true randomness often doesn't feel random.
Correct.
Well, isn't true randomness in
Well, yes,
program
okay.
real life?
It's not literally true randomness. Figurative true randomness doesn't feel random,
Much better. I feel better about this whole conversation.
of course. Like to go wildly off topic, I remember there was a controversy in the bridge community. Um, this was like maybe 5 or so years ago now, where it was discovered that the standard way of shuffling that the bridge players were using, because playing a game of bridge sort of orders the deck into clumps of the same suit. It wasn't actually shuffling the deck properly, and it was spreading out the cards evenly. So most people, when they drew bridge hands, were drawing like 3 or 4 of each suit. And then when they realized this and changed their shuffling technique, they were suddenly getting really confused that they kept getting
Bad
these weird
hands.
hands that didn't look like they'd been shuffled correctly. And it's
Huh.
actually no, when you shuffle them correctly, you often get weird outliers because that's how random works.
Yes.
And
Online
that's
card
neatly filled the
games
time for
hands are
Dennis to
much more.
decide his power challenge.
Online card TLDR online card games are it's actually much more random, much more closer to true random than when you shuffle in real life.
Yeah, if you want to do a true random shuffle in real life, the easiest way is to do the one that looks like you aren't very good at shuffling, where you just spread out all your cards on the table and smush them together. George in the chat saying that the actual Iron Throne documented issue is that if you type, of course, you've got that 1x milk in hand, it automatically adds it.
It just says summon card. Uh, the Iron Throne reads it as summon card, spawn card. I didn't even have any milks in my deck.
And yeah, while we've gone on that wild tangent, Dennis has now finally done a huge power challenge for 22 strength.
There we go.
Look at Ari with the 4 strength.
Yeah, and this is where Arya being immune to the sorrows matters, because her extra strength is cancelling out the Haunted Forest's extra strength.
Does Tomash want to win this? That's the question. I don't
Can
think
he?
Can he? Let's see.
I
We
don't
got
think so.
1, 2, 3,
One
4,
is no.
5, 6, 6.
Yeah, you
Nope,
need
just defends
8.
with the.
So, yeah.
No. All right. Are we gonna? Are we? No, we don't see. Oof. Oh no,
Yep.
there's
Yeah,
superior claim.
superior claim.
Yeah. Whenever, literally.
Always
that
forgotten Iron Throne. It gives you the power early, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
crossing is technically before forced reactions. Even it's one of the very rare passive effects the game even has.
on purpose.
Yes. And now this is the part where Dennis pays the price for wanting to get the superior claim off, in that Tamash gets to hit him for unopposed intrigue, unopposed power, and then a military claim as well. I mean, not that Dennis can't soak the military here, but
Especially because we assumed Harris is coming next, right?
I would expect so from Dennis, because I don't know why else he'd only marshal a 1 gold character.
While sitting on Small John.
Yeah.
Well, Small John's not super great right now, right? He's turned.
I mean,
Oh,
his strength
power.
would have been 3, the same as everyone else, but he'd have renown.
Oh yes, he would never know. Yeah.
Huh? That's
Interesting.
all it did. Why not take the power?
He did the power and the intrigue.
Oh.
But he would have
No.
lost the. No, he would have won dominance, right? If he had done.
If he'd done military, he'd have either got it unopposed or won dominance.
Mm-hmm. I
And
assume he
Strangler
assumed-
on Arya.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that mean he's planning to reset and wants her weak since she's immune?
Could we see
Doharis into Doharis.
Doharis into Doharis? Yeah. Because I don't think Morgulis is not super good here.
If I'm Tomas, I'm not really trying to Valor here.
If I'm Tomas, I play Expose, I think, to win initiative and
Yeah.
save both your resets.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It does. Because you have now maneuvered Dennis into a position where they're down to 2 cards.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that's the Hob difference, right? Like, literally, look at their boards and look at their hands. The entire difference is Hob.
Yeah, I mean, Hobbs triggered twice or 3 times so
I think
far.
it's triggered every turn.
Or is
since
it all
he's been out
4?
there. I think every turn since he's been out, which I think is every turn he's triggered.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
Hob was definitely out round 1.
but that's the difference in the game thus far. Like, there's enough card advantage in Valerian Steel that Hob is, he's not even actually, he's using Valerian Steel for gold mostly, isn't he?
I mean,
Is he
that's
not?
one of the benefits of Hob, right? Is that it lets you outsource your draw to Hob and then use the agenda for gold instead.
Yep.
And that was really important in giving. Interesting. Tamas going with the Valamor Gulis. He
That's
does have
super
Maester
interesting.
Aemon.
That's,
I guess he can keep Benjin and get 2 power from Benjin. He doesn't have Ghost out. Hob is duped. On Dennis's side, Septim Ordain will make Arya immune. But that's it. So maybe he's just going for... Even if Dennis gets to technically counter it by resolving Daenerys first, Tamas just wants Dennis's board gone.
Better none than 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if it was just Daenerys, then Dennis gets to keep Arya, Alysanne, 2 Winterfell stewards, and Wyler, say.
Yeah.
Which is a lot more than Arya.
That's fair.
Funding.
So
He
let's see.
choose the
Alright,
let.
so Valor Harris
He's keeping Septim Ordain
And-
such that Arya survives. Right? Like
Yeah.
without the need for the dupe. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Dennis, he does have 3x Septim
Benjin,
Ordained,
Maester,
but
Outnayman, Seasoned Woodman. Okay. But Hob went under, so maybe there wasn't a dupe on. But that's
he needed to keep... He wanted to keep Benjamin for the power, and he needed to keep Aemon to save a woodsman to be able
That's
to
fair.
stack the attachments back on him. And
That's
so
fair.
he just didn't care enough about Hob.
That's
And
fair.
also, for all we know, he's got the 3rd Hob in hand.
He has churned through his deck. All right, so we need. If we're Dennis,
Yeah.
we need the top of our deck to be sweet to us.
Yeah.
And
For what
only-
it's worth, Tamas obviously started with 75 cards. He's just put 9 cards back into his deck, and he's still only got 1 more card in his deck than Dennis. I mean, obviously Dennis has just put a bunch of cards back in his deck too, but it's still
more cards.
Yeah.
right?
absurd to look at.
Well, also look at their backboards, right?
Yep. All right. Oh, great, John. He's okay.
Okay, no. Really wish you can get one more out there. Great
Yeah.
John not getting up, and there's no intrigue icon.
Yep. That's a.
No. And if it was I Am No One and Off to Goldtown, he might have
I mean-
a play, but with only 1 gold remaining.
I mean, your hope here is that. I mean, Tomash.
Is about to spam the board.
He'll
Right.
have. Okay, Rickon. Okay. Let's claim soak.
No claim.
Yeah, it kind of makes no. I mean, later if he has a Goldtown for next turn, it could be relevant to
Yeah.
have Rickon out. But he's basically, I think, just saying, I've got the gold. If I'm keeping the gold for dominance, I might as well have a 1 strength body for dominance.
Right. The potential usefulness outweighs
Lineage, so we got a
card in hand with no claim.
Bicon.
Interesting. The rare play of putting Noble Lineage on a character other than Seasoned Woodsman or Jon Snow.
Well, there's no Jon Snow, so you need to expand your horizons here.
I mean, I guess he
Yeah.
just wanted the extra power icon.
That's what Craster is for, Aaron.
Fair.
Yeah. Build a Craster rather than build a John.
Yeah.
Gross. Okay,
Although
Practice Blade
is the one that you put on Craster. Everyone knows that.
Come here. Sorry, no, it's back down.
definitely been there.
I'm sorry, I can hear you with headphones. Come here.
I said I love you from my room.
Well, I love you from here. Come here.
But you couldn't hear me because you have those things. Because I took little things.
I know, I remember. And you have your things. We got you headphones too. Sorry, everyone, you get to hear me.
No worries.
Come here.
It's the best content we've produced so far. It's
It's
fine.
definitely true. It's
Okay,
adorable.
you're gonna leave right now? All right, I love you. Bye. Good night. Sorry, it was bedtime. Apparently, he was yelling from his room. If you missed that.
I did not hear him yelling. So.
Yeah, me neither. No, he was yelling from his room. So.
His room's not that far from where you're sitting, Glazer. I've been in your apartment.
I mean,
This shows that Noah's voice is not as loud as his dad's. So. Give him time.
he's actually incredibly loud.
Oh,
So
actually.
Dennis's challenge is here.
So Rabs is quote. So the Conclave's restricted list actually it's September. We'll see the next restricted list. Okay. So we have one more month.
And we just to look at Tamas's reflood. Amongst the rest of it, he did have another holder. And that's quite nice now that all three sorrows across both of them have gone through.
Yeah.
Tamas now up to 13
13.
power.
I mean, if he just sees the wall.
Or,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he needs to see anything special.
So I guess we now get weapons from Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little milk's been spent, right?
It's
Milk.
okay with the woodsman.
Yes.
With Halder out.
Yeah, I mean the problem that he's gone win or die instead. That's fair. I guess I was just looking at it because we know Tamas has Water Dancer's sword in hand. He's got Practice Blade that can be ambushed. Plus, he's got the agenda trigger. Dennis might have felt that weapons wasn't going to do.
And he does
enough.
need cards. So,
Yeah.
and because he's caught Tamashre at a point in which he's at like relative card parity now. So maybe if the heart of the cards is with Dennis here.
Yeah. He's trying to replicate what he did in the top 4 game of the be behind but close enough to 15 that if you get things just right, then you can get over the line before it all collapses.
You can thread the needle.
Yeah.
The Craven we haven't seen yet though. That's
correct.
That's the stick in the gears here. Okay.
We see Caitlin, who is good for winning the power challenge, and Weiler and saving 1 gold, possibly for an off to gold town or an I am no one. And how much stuff can Tamas spew out in response is the question.
All right. Well, Water's Dancer is all right. Draw. Okay. So the fact that he's drawing here says that his hand isn't that gassy. Oh
Yeah,
well.
that's
Sour Tower Mason.
Right.
Sure.
Like he hasn't even used his vault yet, since he has
Well,
Halder.
he's planning to probably keep the vaults up if he can.
Right, but like that's
Guard
significant.
duty's annoying.
I feel like this game's over.
I think it is too, but we said that about Dennis's last game.
Yes, but Dennis was like, I had no business winning that.
I actually think he did have business winning that because he didn't navigate out of a
Yeah,
tricky
well,
situation.
opponent misplays, right?
Fair. Very fair. Oh, yeah.
obviously Holder can trigger pre-challenge, but if he doesn't, how much strength does Tamash have without any triggers if Caitlyn's in it? He's got 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 15. Oh, and a Craven on Caitlyn. Okay, so never mind. That's...
The Craven solves a lot of Tamash's problems.
Yep.
What? Ooh. Sorry, I read a post that annoyed me.
You're not watching the end of this?
I mean, they've been sitting there for 30 seconds, so I definitely looked at my phone. Spoiler.
Well,
Someone said, what are the best RPGs for the PS4 besides Final Fantasy VII? Not R, Final Fantasy VII and Persona 5. It's like, please add the R.
Is the original not available on the
Is
store?
that just you being a Final Fantasy boomer, along with your 1.0 boomer in there, Glazer? Like,
Sorry, I like things that are inherently good, and you like things that are inherently bad, Rogers.
Whoa. Final Fantasy Remake is good.
So, I don't know. I was talking about Final Fantasy VII original, not remake.
I'm just saying, like, and maybe, you know what, you can play Final Fantasy VII on the PS4, so...
Yes, it is not one of the best RPGs on the PS4, though.
When you said it needed an R on the end, I assumed you were talking about Persona 5.
Also, I mean, every version of Persona 5 is incredible. I've never played Persona 5, but I have no doubt about that.
It is quite incredible. It's extremely annoying when you screw up your walkthrough of Persona 5 R, though.
My last 160 hours of video game playtime has gone on Persona 5.
I mean, I was supposed to play Persona 4 with a really good friend who abandoned the activity.
God.
The viewers will notice we've moved on from talking about the game because Tamas is going to win.
Yes. Also,
we just gotta go with going through the motions.
It was not super thrilling, and no one's paying us for this, so we can use ourselves.
It's true.
Is Bamford paying us?
No, he's not paying us.
Oh.
Theoretically.
Guys, we will
if time is money, I lose money doing these throwing streams, so. When Tomash used
I kind of feel like
would,
Dennis is doing these challenges just for the sake of doing something on the final turn of the game.
Yeah. Bard, it's for Halder, is why he didn't use the extra econ. So. It's always the thing to remember as an Ice Watch player that you don't always burn your vaults when you have Halder. Yes. But you should definitely play Persona 5 R if you own a PS4. It is good. But just don't be an idiot and forget to level up a social stat so you can't progress with a social link, and so your whole calendar's thrown off.
That is a mistake.
It was. It's turned me off of finishing Persona 5R.
No, that's just an excuse to finish an ineffectual playthrough and then do New Game Plus.
No, I can't. Yeah. I'm not. This year is going to be busy enough as it is, Wama. I've got Crusader Kings 3. I've got the next Trails of Cold Steel. I have Baldur's Gate 3.
Ricken's dead.
Yeah, Ricky Boy died. Poor Rick.
He should have learned to run in a zigzag.
Thanks, Derek. I appreciate that. This is a great year for video games, actually. So.
Derek, who has listened to us talking none of the day, is pretending he enjoys.
And congratulations to Tomash.
Hey,
and he won. All right, no wall at all in the final or semifinals. Yes, he grinded it out.
Immediately has to do his celebratory wheelie of reminding everyone that he doesn't even need the win condition of his deck to win.
Yep. To answer Badass Bard there, I'm waiting for Disco Elysium to come out on the PS4, and then I'm going to play it. I'm waiting for the port myself. All right, well, that was pretty cool, actually, finals, all things considered. It played out differently, I think, than the Derek game did that we saw between Tomash and Derek. So, what overall, we'll start with Wama. You were a participant. What did you think of this year's Battle of Blackwater Bay?
I had a lot of fun. I look forward to the future be that next year or the year after when we can do this in person. But for an online event, I had a lot of fun. I thought it was very good. Thank you very much to both of you for dedicating a whole bunch of free time to a tournament that wasn't even taking place on your continent. Although I guess I don't know where the servers for Iron Throne are kept.
I think it's in the U.S. I don't. I think the gentleman who runs it is an American.
Yes.
Yes.
This is the best Blackwater Bay since 2014. For reasons I am entirely unclear on, but I can just feel it in my gut that since 2014 there has been no Blackwater Bay that compares to this. I think that the game is in a really healthy place. They could use a shakeup relatively soon, and that would next month should be soon enough, I think.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, we've only got maybe one or two more large-scale events before the next restricted list. So particularly if they go in the earlier part of September, we could definitely see some sort of cool events at the second half of September. I'll probably... It's unlikely they'll ever get a chance to participate in a IRL Battle of Blackwater Bay, but I've always wanted to, so it's nice to be able to participate a little bit in this virtual one. And I appreciate Vince and Bamford and you, Wama, for letting Glazer and I be the official stream for this event. I really enjoyed it. Do we have any questions from the chat or anything, or do we want to just...
Well, we're gonna plug for someone who is a badass who sings with a lovely voice that German Nats are on August 15th and 16th.
Okay, which will be in this metagame, so you've definitely got a good sense that Stark and Night's Watch still good, Bear is okay. So
and probably don't really play anything else.
All right. So if there's no questions,
well, congrats to Tomas. Anyone have any questions in chat?
Yeah, congrats to Tomas. Another great victory. I think this is the second of these larger online tournaments that he's won during quarantine, the COVID land, whatever you want to... The year of the COVID. And...
Well, unless you're American, in which case it's years of the COVID.
Yes, Glazer, thank you.
Not just American.
Anglosphere, you could say. Well,
yeah.
Although the Australians and the New Zealanders seem to be handling it a little bit better.
New Zealanders are just like fine; they're open.
So, then the Canadians, I guess, are handling it well. So I guess actually, really, if you think about it, only
there are some similarities that America and the United Kingdom share that other countries that might have been affected that we don't need to go into because everyone knows what they are.
Yep.
That's completely fair. So just one quick programming note. Probably for the foreseeable future, this will be the last event that I'm able to stream. For personal life reasons, we're going through a housing transition here, so I don't 100% know what our new setup is going to be at my new lodging, so I don't want to make any promises to folks, but hopefully I'll be able to get back and at least cover a couple more next events and maybe some of the other stuff, in a month or two. So, since we don't really have any questions in chat, I'm just going to, again, say thank you to Vince, and thank you to Bamford, and thank you to you, Wama, for organizing Battle of Blackwater Bay and letting Glazer and I be the official coverage.
No worries. And thank you for letting me come on and run my mouth for the cut.
And I was going to thank you personally for that, so thank you. And Aaron, as always, thank you very much for being my partner in doing this.
Sure.
All right. Stay safe, stay healthy, wear a mask, and all of that good stuff, folks. Until next time,